I never made it there, 'cause she come tearing through my life like a tornado, coming on hotter than a big potato. She spin me around and see you later. Want to hate her, but I love her instead. We caught the red eye to Dubai. She was blowing through my dough like a throwing out style. In general, I was a sensible guy, but that guy died when she come tearing through my life like a tornado, coming on hotter than a big potato. She spin me around and see you later. Want to hate her, but I love her instead. Go. Well, I lost my job and all of my money, most of my friends and half of my mind. So messed up, it's a little funny. And I thought for sure that she was mine. But now I'm alone, just trying to get it right, picking up the pieces of my busted life. If she walked into this room tonight, I'd say, baby, won't you come tearing through my life like a tornado, coming on hotter than a big potato. She spin me around and see you later. Wanna hate her, but I love her instead. I wanna hate her, but I love her instead.
Oh, brother, oh, brother. Good morning, and my apologies. It's fair. I see that a lot of you are already giving me demerits for the day. And you're right. You're right. I can't even fight back. I was streaming on time. I just was sending it to the wrong RTMP code. So it was a completely different stream. So if you guys caught that specialty stream that lasted about 3 minutes, congratulations to all of you. It's already deleted. It's a piece of super secret MK content that you had to watch it in real time and you can no longer find it. So my apologies for that. And also, you're welcome to the people who caught the super secret show. But folks, we're starting early today. I'm already earning my demerits, and they are rightfully earned. I can't even argue with you about it. But we're starting early today because in a mere 4 minutes, we're going to be getting the GDP report. It's going to be an important one, especially when you consider the fact that, the overall market is looking very, very, very bearish. Actually, incredibly bearish. And before we all get crazy and YOLO into some zero DTE puts, I do want to pay attention to this economic report. I want to go over some of the earnings. I want to go over some macro political economic developments that could have an impact on the whole situation. And also just don't forget about the fact that, yes, mean reversion is a thing. I am a wholehearted believer that when there are people who are particularly like bearish, and everyone's screaming and they're all on the exact same side, I kind of think to myself, well, that's a group that's about to get screwed. So that's my opinion. So even though the market's going down, the fact that I see everyone on FinTwit being absurdly bearish, it makes me feel, well, the market is about to teach them a brutal lesson. So just something to keep in mind. You don't want to be the last one to the party. You want to be there when the party's like kind of starting, you know? You want to be there at the appropriate time. Not too early, not too late. You definitely don't want to be chasing it. So I'm going to go over some support, some resistance levels, because no matter what the bias is that you're absorbing from mainstream media, from FinTwit, from dumb streamers like myself, really what it all boils down to is the fact that it's all risk and reward. Whether you're bullish or bearish, the question is, do you have your risk in control? And are you going to be disciplined enough to stick to your risk? If you could do that, that's already 90% of the way there to being a profitable trader. It really is. It's all about discipline and sticking to your exact rules or your exact system that you told yourself you would. So just something to consider. Now, like I said, we're starting early because the GDP report's going to be coming out. So we're going to watch that live. That should be now out in about 2 minutes. Then we're going to be doing some chart breakdowns. We have some earnings to go over. Yesterday, Meta reported kind of not the best. Like the numbers were good, but then the future guidance not so good. Right now, I'm seeing a lot of negativity, a lot of bearishness, and potentially for good reason. My whole point is none of us are expert fundamental predictors. None of us are clairvoyant. Well, if you are, please DM me because I would love to know like what's going to happen in future seasons of The Bachelor. But anyway, assuming that none of us can accurately tell the future here, it's all noise. It really is. Like, everyone has an opinion. If you want to support your own bias of being absurdly bearish, you can find it. If you want to support your bias of being absurdly bullish, you can find someone saying that. If you want to support your bias of being absurdly neutral and chopping sideways, you can find that. My point is everyone has an opinion, and if you hold your opinion long enough, especially in the long term, you're eventually going to be right. You're going to find pockets of bullishness, pockets of bearishness, pockets of just chopping sideways and effectively being neutral. So it comes down to you. It comes down to what are you trying to do? What's your account size? What's your personality? What's your trade duration? Find out what works for you. And 99.9% of what you are consuming, arguably probably this as well, it's noise. It is noise. It is noise. It is noise. So please remember that. Before we switch over to the GDP report, shout out to Apex Prop Trading. That is the sponsor of today's stream. They're partnered up, pinned to the top of chat. They're currently running a 90% off deal. Generally, they run 70 or 80% off, so this is a little bit abnormal, and they're just celebrating $50 million in payouts. So pinned to the top of chat in the description of the video. You could also use this code right here, TPMBGLUS, to get 90% off. That's what I use for my prop account trading. And on that note, where's the video? Where is the video? GDP coming out.
Tangible assets. So that's, you have
expectation
to earn a return on
is
that also.
4.3%.
Thank you.
4.3%.
And we should mention Leslie Picker is going to be interviewing Ted Pick and James Gorman in a first on CNBC
Noise,
interview that's
noise,
gonna
noise,
happen
noise,
at 10
noise.
a.m.
The Grinch.
Eastern time this hour.
That's confusing.
On Pick.
Leslie Picker and Ted Pick.
Joe, that's good.
Steve
I
Leishman
can't
is
deal
standing
with
by
that.
with breaking economic data. Steve, you
Joe?
got a second to think about it. Now it's
Joe?
I am thinking about it. I'm
Steve,
waiting for it to appear
we're not getting
online
Rick.
here. I don't quite have it yet. There it is. 4.9%. That's against a consensus of 4.7%, Joe. With the the Dow Jones consensus, it was 4.3 for Reuters. I don't have any details right
Coming
for you
in
now.
a
I've
little
got some
hot.
details here. Let's see. 4.9. The deflator
Market
was
popping on
3.5.
that.
It's a percentage point higher than the consensus had expected. Waiting to see here consumer spending here, which was expected to be the thing that really drove all of this. But I am interested as well, Joe, in the issue of how much business spending came along here. Because if it was just the consumer, that's one thing. It's business spending that drives the economy over time. Here we go. I've got the report in front of me.
No, Rick. Apparently, no, Rick.
GDP 2023.
Camille, I understand.
Let's
Steve's
see
a
if I
good
can
guy
find
and
the table
everything,
here.
but I think we all wanted Rick.
Joe, I don't have the data. It's kind of trickling over. I'm going to throw it back to you. It's a beat on the upside. We had seen a lot of forecasts
You heard
out
it
there
here first,
for 5%,
getting beat to the
and
upside.
I'll be digging in to see what the consumer did, see what business did. But you do have that inflation inside it, which was a percentage point higher than expected. Joe?
Steve, just historically, you get the first look. If this is going to be the highest print in a while, let's say, would the second and third look at the third quarter, would it be lower than this? Do you have confidence this holds up
34.3K.
at 4.9? What's this historically
I
what
don't,
happened?
Joe. The average
SPY up a little,
the standard
Q's up
deviation on
a
this is about
little.
a percentage point. On average, it's plus or minus 1.3 percentage points by the time they get around to truing this up 5 years from now. I think it's safe to say that the number is going to be higher than potential. It's a strong number. It's stronger than when we started estimating this quarter. But yeah, you're right. It is going to be revised again and again and again over the next several years.
Recession canceled?
Just
I
because
don't think
of the
so.
difficulty of counting
I think
a $21
recession
trillion
is
economy.
Hey, Steve, just to add to
Fully
that,
on.
the U.S. jobless claims number up 10,000 to 210K. The week before, the October 14th week, jobless claims revised to 200K. Any quick thoughts on that?
Again, it's not ticking up. Apparently, I think we went through this one time. Those
210,
who are
they were
on
expecting 208, so
strike
pretty much in
do
line.
not get jobless claims.
Core
but if
durable
other
goods came out
factories were
as well.
laid off
That's higher than
because of
expected,
that,
0.5 versus
or
0.2.
the company laid
ECB
off
did not
workers,
change
that
her
would be,
interest rates.
those would be people who would be eligible
Deposit
for jobless
facility
claims.
rate,
I am getting a
4%,
little more
4%
data here.
expected.
Consumer spending, 4%. The price index, ex food, energy, and housing, was plus 1.8%. So that's about half of what it was the prior quarter. So that's good news right there.
SPY almost
on
going up
inflation.
to
And again, I
416,
do not seem
continuing
to
to trend
the
upward.
business spending number, but that's something I'm going to be looking for. One other thing, the ECB this morning came out at 8:15, kind of signaled, I guess you could read it as something of an extended hold in policy. What they said in their statement is that the current level of rates should help them make progress towards their goal of bringing down inflation to their target. They hadn't used that language before. It suggests that they may be on hold for a bit of the ECB, which has up until this meeting hiked 10 times in a row, Joe.
All right, Steve, stay with us. Let's bring in Nathan Sheets, Citigroup Global Chief Economist, Francis Donald, Manulife Investment Management Global Chief Economist and Strategist, and our senior markets commentator, Mike Santoli. It wasn't 5, Nathan. It was pretty darn close, though. Is this the highest print we're going to see for a while? And what's in this that makes it look so hot?
I'm willing to lean in on this, Joe. And yeah, I think this is the strongest
Still going
GDP
above
that we're going to
416.
see, let's say,
We're
for
still
the next,
technically down in
6
post-market,
quarters or
like we
so.
really
This
vomited,
is a
but
very hot
it's making
reading.
a bit of a recovery.
The consumer
There is an upside
just
gap
had
bill to pay
frenzied
attention to.
spending during the third quarter. It was kind of
Upside gap bill to
a surge in the
417.02.
services sector, yes,
Low
but
from
also in
yesterday.
good spending. Entertainment was hot with these concert tours and the Barbenheimer extravaganzas.
All right, this
consumers
guy's
are just
boring.
out spending.
I know you guys come to me for a better financial economic take than a dude who's probably with the right pedigrees, highly qualified, looks snazzy with his suit jacket and tie, while I'm here looking like Mr. Rogers in my D-Gen shirt. Shout out to everyone who has a D-Gen shirt. You're truly a D-Gen. I appreciate that. So why don't go to any of these people with the right college degrees, the right networks, the right research. Instead, talk to the guy who got up, crushed the stair stepper, read a couple tweets, and feels overly confident in explaining the entire global economic situation to you. This is what's going on. So is this bullish or bearish? Exactly. That's a great question that no one in the world knows the answer to, because it's all baloney. It's all FUBAR. Folks, the main message of this entire show, day in and day out, is no one knows anything. Let's not listen to these people on TV because they're on TV. Let's not listen to me. Don't listen to yourself. Don't listen to your grandma. Don't listen to your cat. Don't listen to anyone. It doesn't matter, dude. None of it matters. It's all FUBAR. It's all random. Who's going to do what? When are people buying? When are people selling? I don't know. We're all in a different place, different time frames, different account sizes, different decisions. I don't know if the hedge fund manager who's YOLOing bonds right now is having a good day. Is he going through a divorce? What's going on with his maid? Is she cool? What about his kids? Did they get into the college that he paid off the college admission? I don't know. We're all going through different things. And because of that, all the different algos, everyone has different opinions. It's a borderline infinite variable equation. So for someone to be like, well, I successfully predicted this. No, you didn't. No. Luck. Folks, I'm going to work tirelessly to reposition. Let's go big screen for this, just to show you how serious I am. Just to show you, look at big screen. Big screen, you know I'm being serious. That's a sign of seriousness on this show. I am here to redefine how you view the market. There are a lot of times at various points within your trading journey, your trading career, where you're kind of sucked into the world and it's almost presented as a way of like, hang on, someone has almost a prophetic view of the market. They are right a high percentage of the time, and they're always just crushing it, and they understand the puzzle a bit more than everyone else. That, in my opinion, is not the right way to look at the market. It really isn't. This concept of being able to predict in the market, which is always sold by every hedge fund and bank and blah, 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 they're just shoving it down people's throats because it makes them money. That is not the way to look at the market, especially if you're an active trader. It's a little bit more accurate if you're talking about long-term investing and you're like, well, I think company XYZ or commodity or this, that, or the other thing. You might be like a decade or two out, you think it's going to be bullish. But in a short time frame, dude, you could be talking about the most bullish asset ever and it could still have red days. You could be talking about the worst asset ever and it could still have green days. This concept of, oh, we're predicting this and here's my thesis and I look at this level, that level. Dude, it doesn't matter. It truly doesn't matter. The shorter your time frame, the game is completely different. And I get so absurdly angry because I see all these like fucktwads who are trying to pitch you. They're like, I have a system that is 90% accurate. If you did, if it were that good, you wouldn't be selling it. Let's just be honest. If someone was there, as they're always there in their Lambo, they have like something like their Mac. They're sitting there with their Mac computer, sitting on their Lambo. They're like, I might be 16 years old. I might be flunking out of like 10th grade algebra, but I am the best trader ever. And you should be giving me money. It's like, come on. In my opinion, you can be profitable trading. It's very difficult. Not many people do it, but yeah, you could do it. I think we all need to rewire our brain when it comes to active trading. Once again, I'm not talking about investing. That's a completely different sport. It's a completely different league. And there is some mental crossover between active trading and investing when I don't think that there should be. When it comes to trading, act as if you are the casino. And what I mean like that is we all know casinos make metric buttloads of money. And for those of you who are maybe my European viewers, that is roughly equivalent to like a couple metric fuckloads of money. I know there's a bit of like a measurement system, language barrier issues, but roughly it's the same thing. View it as the situation in certain situations, such as blackjack or roulette or whatever it is. We know the house has the edge. That's what it is. The house has the edge, whatever percentages it is in craps, it is in roulette, blah, blah, blah. They don't care about an individual one. They care about a large series. When the deck is stacked in their favor, they know over a large series of data points, they will be net profitable. In my opinion, that's how all of us should view it. Don't care about one individual trade. But to yourself, whatever your system is, I don't know what it is. Maybe it's something as simple as, hey, I found out that there's an edge that if Microsoft is red on a Monday, there's more than a 50% chance with a 1-to-1 odds of it being green on a Tuesday. Great. If it's 1-to-1 payout and you're above 50%, if you take that trade over a long series of time, you're going to be profitable. So obviously that's a very rudimentary example, but as a retail trader, I think that's where our advantage is. Now, that's one way to be profitable. Large series of trades, there's an edge slightly in your favor when you consider the accuracy and the payout. There are times where you have a 10% chance of winning, but if the payout is greater than really 10-to-1, really in that like 9-to-1 is going to make you break even. But if it's greater than 9-to-1, that's profitable. So you don't need to necessarily be optimizing on accuracy. What you want to do is optimize on what's referred to as expected value. That is your accuracy, the amount of time you're right, multiplied out by your average win size. And then obviously you want to consider the percentage of time that you're wrong and the sizing of your average losing trade. If you look at your percentage of your winning time, your winning trade average size, and then subtract the percentage of time you're wrong and your average losing trade size, if you subtract that latter value from the first value, and that's positive, you have positive expected value. That's exactly how casinos operate. They know over a large series of time, looking at the bet size and the accuracy that they have, that they're going to be profitable. That is my favorite way to trade. That's the way I think most of us should be trading, but it's not the only way to trade. Let's be honest. Like the other very, 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 very real way to trade is to trade super infrequently. And you get super good at fundamental analysis. You get super good at this prediction, that prediction. Is the housing market going to collapse? Is the British pound going to go on tilt? Are bonds about to have the squeeze of a lifetime? You get really knowledgeable at one thing, and you notice something that other people don't notice, and you basically bet the house on it. So for me, at my age, my background, my skill set, this latter form of trading is not my skill set. I don't have necessarily the capability, the knowledge, or the intellect to notice some big phenomena in the overall market that no one else is noticing. I am not the guy that is going through the subprime mortgages noticing, something's wrong here. The rest of the world doesn't notice it. It's just at a certain point, you have to ask yourself, what is your background? What is your skill set? That's not my background. That's not my skill set. You might be able to do that. Like, hey, if someone's watching and that's your thing, you're like, no. I track something weird in the upstream commodities related to semiconductors, and it tells me that there's going to be a supply constraint and they're not going to be able to sell, and I'm shorting the semiconductor industry. Okay, that's great. Generally, these are like medium to longer term. Like, you need a couple months, a couple years for it to play out potentially. It's not like it's going to happen overnight. So if you're of the mindset that you're like, no, I'm going big bets, I'm doing a lot of research, that's not day trading. That's not even really swing trading. You're probably going to be in it for a bit. Even if you look at the stories of some of the best trades ever known to man, they took many, many months to play out. What's commonly considered to be the best trade ever, this guy made $20 billion, but he did it over the course of 2 years. He needed time for that to play out. So if that's not really of interest to you, and maybe it is, and if it is, I mean, I could show you great books. I could show you where to look. Like, that is a total possible way to be successful in the market. But that's not day trading, and it's definitely not, it's not swing trading, and it's definitely not day trading. If you are more interested in shorter time frame stuff, you need to really just view it as if you're the casino. View it as if you're a sports gambler. Look at the odds of the situation. Ask yourself, when you have an edge in terms of your positive expected value, and you just take that bet over and over and over and over and over, and you don't worry about one individual trade. You worry about that overall system that you are implementing time and time and time again. There are a lot of people who, I guess, like, try to sell you something, or they try to act like tough guys on the internet, which is honestly one of like the most feminine things I've ever seen in my entire life, of like these tough guy FinTwit traders, and like, oh, well, blah, 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 join this. Like, I'm so good at it. It's like, and you ask them, like, what's your edge? How do you figure it out? What's your system? What's your entry? What's your exit? And they can't tell you. They don't know what their actual system is. It's a gut feeling. They're like, well, I think Tesla's down, so I'm going long. I think Tesla's up, so I'm going short. It's like, what are you basing that off of at all? So with it, I almost need to redefine like the overall like purpose of what I'm making this content for. And I'm like really honing in on the fact that I need to completely reframe how, I guess, education within the trading space, or trading in a general sense, is pitched to the entire retail community. Because this concept of like there being a secret sauce, it doesn't exist. The concept of a holy grail does not exist. Those do not exist. Active traders, the people who make a shitload of money active trading, they are people who just have a positive expectancy system, and they do it time and time and time again. Think about this. Think about this, like, honestly, like, internalize this. There's fuckwits who have no true proven track record at all. No degree, no certificates, no proven track record, barely look like they're a competent human being, and they're telling you about their 80, 90, 95% trading system. These guys who just like rented a Lambo and took a picture for Instagram and just clearly don't have their life together. You're telling me that person figured out something better than Jim Simons, the best quant trader of all time, who has below a 51% accuracy? You're telling me Fuckwit McGee has figured out something that Steve Cohen, the owner of the Mets, one of the best traders, who only has a 60% accuracy? Like, you start to add this up and you look at the discrepancy between some of the best traders ever who have made millions and billions, and probably some of them at this point are managing trillions of dollars, when they're barely getting it better than flipping a coin. You're telling me that those people have not figured out what, like, a random teenager who's like, dude, I'm right 95% of the time and I'm just crushing it. Like, it just, the way it is pitched It's a double-edged sword. I'm very happy that social media is a thing because I think it does form, it helps inform, it helps educate. The expediency of communication in my book is a positive. Sometimes like there's going to be negatives too. It's the yin and the yang of the situation. But overall, I think there's more positives than there are negatives. But social media is also like contorted it. And this might be a surprise to some of you watching this right now. But not everything you see on the internet is going to be real. It really isn't. And I know that you're like, wait, what? But I don't know if this is shocking you today, Thursday, October 26, 2023, but I do want to inform you that not everything you see on the internet is like necessarily above board. Not everything you're seeing is like actually going to be like 100% accurate and real and nothing else going behind like the scenes. So remember that. So this game of really this whole rant started from the question of like, is this bullish or bearish? It depends on your time frame. It really does. When we're talking about overall macroeconomic development and like where we're going, I would say the bears are in control. If we're looking at a multi-month time frame, I think that the summer melt up, the summer pump was a little bit of BS. And right now we're kind of coming to the sobering moment of reality that yes, our yields are way too high. Bonds are getting their balls kicked in. We have the dollar ripping. We have global conflict going on. We have a lot of questions of what's going on in the world of energy and all of that. This isn't good. We see a lot of telltale signs that the consumer is weakening. Their disposable income base is being eaten into. We're seeing student loan repayments restart. We're seeing credit card defaults spike. We're seeing a lot of shakiness in the corporate real estate sector. God knows what's going on with China. Overall, if we were to do like a macro theme thing of how are things playing out in the next like 6 to 18 months, it's very difficult to argue that the bulls are currently in control. One day they're going to regain control. I mean, when the bears are in control, arguably, it's only for short periods of time. If you look at the history of the market, bulls win out. Bulls absolutely win out. If you're watching this and you see the title and you're like, oh, stocks are plummeting, what should I do? I'm not a financial advisor. In fact, the only thing that I'm like certified as is a certified dipshit. But I can tell you this. I know how to read basic charts. I know how to read basic stats. There is no point in the U.S. stock market history. You could pick any single day historically, and if you fast forward 15 years, there is no example of the market being lower. So yeah, there's rough times, and all you have to do, like many other things in your life, is just fucking white knuckle it and get through it. Just don't pay, out of sight, out of mind. Go fishing, go do something else. There are hits to the stock market. But if you have that longer term view, it really doesn't matter. Being a long-term investor in the overall market, you win in the end. That's exactly how everything is played out. So if you're coming in here like, should I sell? Should I do this? Just don't fucking do it. If you have quality things in your portfolio, the overall market, the tech sector, quality blue chip stocks, what pays is just sitting there. Sitting there. Now, if you're in this for more of like, you're an active trader, which, hey, whatever. I'm an active trader too. I'm a long-term investor. I'm an active trader. In your long-term trading account, it's probably best to not touch it. It really is. Most of the stats, I mean, this is an interesting study from Fidelity. The best performing accounts in Fidelity, they've done research, are from dead people. As in the people who literally were incapable of touching their own account are the best performing ones. Yes, you're going to have rough patches. Obviously, you're going to have rough patches. But in the long term, the people who have the discipline to basically forget their password and just not touch it are the ones who end up doing very, very well. But if you're more of an active trader, yeah, you want to just ride the trend and just don't be greedy. Come up with your system. I don't care if you're a day trader. I don't care if you swing for a couple days, a couple months, a couple weeks. It doesn't matter. Whatever your system is, know the odds of it and stick to it and just see if what you historically tested is actually playing out statistically in the real time and also in the future. You got to think of them completely different, completely different. And with this right now, market, I would say the bears are in control. In the short term, though, that obviously we can still get the upside gap fill. I mean, we have random things happening every day. So it's just, do you have the discipline to keep your risk in control? That's honestly, in my mind, the biggest separation between what an amateur retail trader is and a professional. That's all it is a person who has the discipline to keep the risk in control. So on that note, framework of the day, but yeah, we just did get some news on right here. 4.9 on the GDP. Some were expecting 4.3, but I actually saw the major forecast coming in at 4.7. So I don't think it's like as dramatic as a 60 bips beat. I think it's more of like a 20 bips beat. Anyway, the ECB, that is the European Central Bank, equivalent to our Fed, equivalent to our pal. So their president, she is actually speaking as of now. She started a couple minutes ago. And then a half hour into the trading day, we are going to be getting the pending home sales report. That comes out at 10 a.m. ET, once again, a half hour into the trading day. And I also want you to know that the volatility, the excitement, it just, it's not stopping here. I mean, it's continuing tomorrow and it continues into next week. So an hour before the market opens tomorrow, we get the PCE report, the personal consumption expenditure report, coming in at 8:30. That's a straight up another inflation report that's going to have big effects on next week, Wednesday, November 1st, when we get the next decision from the FOMC, which is our Fed rate. Like, what are we doing? Are we staying at 5.25%? Are we going up? Are we going down? Are we just staying flat? The odds are saying we're staying flat, but who knows? Sometimes there's surprises. If I had a bet right now, I would very much bet that it remains unchanged. I don't think we're going up or down, but obviously those are just my thoughts on the situation. Stock futures slide after latest earnings batch as sell-off continues. Basically, all those summer gains are gone. Stock futures slide with the Nasdaq set to fall deeper into correction territory. Let's take a little looky-see at what's going on. So we're actually making a recovery now after the GDP report came out. There is an upside gap fill to 417.02. 417.02 is the upside gap fill to yesterday's low. Talking about odds and systems and something that over a large amount of time is net profitable in the market. The SPY, the Qs, even the Russell, the IWM, that is a profitable trade, playing the upside and the downside gap fill. So what I mean by that, maybe if this is the first time you're maybe this is the first time you're hearing it, I could explain it very quickly. So right now, if the market were to open this second, which we have about 35 minutes, but let's just pretend it's opening right now, the market would open at 416.57, which is obviously below the low from yesterday, 417.02. It's about a 35 cent gap. That's an actual gap between we're opening up below the low. So you have a region, an untested region of supply and demand. And for whatever reason, the market loves to fill those untested areas to basically figure out what the supply and demand is in that untested area that was skipped over, which from a trading perspective means you have a quantifiable edge to play that play. To actually, if you have a downside gap, you have an edge. Like, it is net profitable for you, obviously with your risk and control, to play the upside gap fill, and then vice versa. If we gap up above the previous day's high, to play that downside gap fill, once again, another quantifiable edge. Statistically, most of these gaps are filled the very next trading day. There are ones, though, that end up lasting for like days, weeks, months, years. Some of them never get filled. But if we're looking at as like a cohort of trading, like an overall trading system, it is net profitable to play the gap fills. Once again, it's not a promise on every individual trade, because remember, the goal is not 100% accuracy. It's being profitable in the long run. So just want to, I guess, lay out what's happening there. U.S. GDP data to show temporary boost from summer spending frenzy, and that it did. U.S. economic activity probably expanded at a nearly 5% annualized rate over the last 3 months amid a bevy of temporary tailwinds, came in at 4.9. The first official look at GDP for the July to September period came out this morning at 8:30 a.m. They were expecting somewhere between 4.3, 4.7. Really, most people were expecting 4.7, came in at 4.9. It was set to show strength in consumer spending alongside slower growth in business investment, and that's exactly what happened. A frenzy of summer spending on travel and entertainment drove real GDP growth to an unsustainable pace in the third quarter. The Fed's tightening cycle is taking time to hit the real economy, but we believe higher mortgage rates, credit card debts, and business loan defaults will hit growth this quarter. A growth rate near 5% in the third quarter would mark an acceleration over what's already been a strong year for the U.S. economy, which has expanded by at least 2% in each of the last 4 quarters. The surprising resilience has kept the Fed on a tightening path despite slowing inflation. So they're continuing to jack up the Fed fund rate. They want to dampen demand. In all reality, the way I understand what's going on right now, I'm actually surprised that the market's going up because the Fed does not want the economy running hotter than it is right now. The Fed is actively trying to curb demand. That's how you bring inflation in control. So the fact that the economy in the last fiscal quarter is growing more rapidly than even the already high expectations, I'm surprised that the market is reacting in a bullish manner because if anything, this is increasing the odds of the Fed being hawkish. The whole echoing of Fed rates higher for longer. So think about this. Mortgage payments, credit card payments, student loan interest payments, really any interest-bearing product that like consumers are paying, those rates are now either going up or staying at the very high levels for longer because of the fact that the economy continues to rip and rip and rip. Folks, it's no secret. We know that the Federal Reserve is actively attempting to increase the unemployment rate by 1%, which is tens of thousands of jobs that they're trying to be like, gone, because that's how much they're trying to bring down the pace of the economy, which is running far too hot. Now, for many of you who have watched the impeccable franchise Fast and Furious, you guys know what happens when engines get a little bit too hot. And not only is the U.S. economy running hot right now, but our boy Vin Diesel has been putting something that is more high octane than NOS in the system. And not only is the engine burning ember hot right now, but the whole thing is the tires are red hot, the chassis is red hot, the roof of the car is red hot. Things are simply running too hot right now. And the Fed is there, who's obviously never raced a quarter of a mile in his life. And they're like, that's not cool. We need to slow this down because if you run too hot for too long, you blow the fuck up. So they're basically saying, let's take some painful medicine now before things get even worse. And unfortunately, even though they've been giving Vin his medicine, it's not been working. He's been relying way too much on the power of family, and family is winning out in this particular scenario. So he's doing something. Now, I'm not the person here saying that Jerome Powell is attempting to murder all of Vin Diesel's family. I'm not saying that. But if that's your takeaway, I'm not necessarily going to disagree. A large chunk of the strength came from temporary factors, the Barbenheimer summer blockbusters, the concert tours by Taylor Swift and Beyonce, as well as factors that don't necessarily reflect underlying strength, such as a buildup of retail inventories. So who are we going to blame? Taylor Swift. Any financial issues you're having in your life right now, this isn't coming from me. This is coming from Bloomberg. It's Taylor Swift's fault. If you're like, oh, all right, well, the economy needs to slow down so we get out of this like whole Fed debacle earlier. Why is it not slowing down? It's because too many people like Taylor Swift. She's way too popular. She is potentially, from a financial standpoint, bringing down the entire U.S. economy. So don't blame me. Blame Taylor. That should actually be the name of the show. The U.S. consumer is walking towards a cliff. Trouble is brewing for the U.S. economy and its pivotal consumer component. I think the U.S. consumer is walking towards a cliff, basically. Let's give this a little listen because we have a lot of time this morning.
A cliff, basically. They're running out of cash. Basically. If you look at excess savings, they've been run down quite high.
Dude, honestly, you could say anything with a British accent and it just sounds right. Like if you said this in an American accent, I'd be like, oh, haha, I'd make fun of just like the speech of just basically they're walking to a cliff. But when you slap on a British accent to it, right away, I'm like, oh, this is the guy we need to listen to. This is the guy who knows what's up. It's a secret to life. If you want to sound smarter, just develop your British accent.
I think the U.S. consumer's walking towards a cliff, basically.
I already agree.
They're running out of cash. If you look at excess savings, they've been run down quite hard. If you look across the income quartiles, the bottom 3 or 4 income quartiles are under pressure, probably spent all those excess savings in negative
Whatever he
territory.
says, I agree.
Quartiles. How many quartiles do you have if there's 4?
Well, quintiles, I meant, obviously.
Sorry to be a bit...
I was
He doesn't even know math, and I still believe him.
Yeah, the bottom 4 quartiles, they're under pressure. The rest are fine.
It's a subtle way of slipping things in. So you've got all that. I mean, and of course, retail sales have been quite strong for the last few months. Everyone gets quite excited about that. But actually, if you look at what's going on, people have been the household savings ratio has been run down. And in fact, real income growth has been negative for 3 months. So it's not quite all good news. I mean, quite the reverse. I think there's some real challenges coming for the US consumer.
Yeah, Chris, is it a case of their consumer going down towards this cliff, as you point to, perhaps a little bit blindly? Solid. And I say that just because there's this clear sense then that, hey, wait, the US is doing okay. Things are actually fine. The jobs market is not as weak as one expected, but the highest level in 30 years of auto owners in the US having their car payments in arrears, the highest in 30 years. So clearly there's still a high amount of spending.
I just assume this is a conversation between geniuses
suffer
with
those
this
credit
accent.
losses for quite some time, aren't they?
There's a lot of challenges, and we see at the margins the consumer under a lot of pressure. And in fact, the labour market's under a lot of pressure as well. There's this, I mean, we had a good payrolls month, but if you look at a lot of the indicators of where the labour market's like to go, a lot of them are fraying at the edges. They're quite soft. You look at the Kansas City Fed Labour Market Conditions Indicator, that's rolled off quite meaningfully, which generally then the labour market follows a few months later. So, yeah, I mean, I think the consumer's fraying at the edges. You see the pressure at the margins, and we're going to get to the point in the next few months when I think the labour market starts to deteriorate more meaningfully, and that'll kick-start the recession when we get there.
What does that mean for the stock market, Chris?
Well, the stock market, I mean, it's interesting. I was listening to your last segment. I mean, I think leadership probably is changing in this stock market. I mean, tech's been under a lot of pressure since July, and I think the stock market's struggling to really sort of know exactly where it wants to go. I mean, from our point of view, though, I can see a bounce for a month or two. It's quite beaten up. You know, market's been coming down since July.
Classic
but
mean reversion.
Net, you want
That's
to be
actually what Jim Simons is all about.
If you look
a lot of
beyond
his
the next
plays
few
are
months,
like basket, arbitrage, mean
particularly
reversion
the US
plays.
equity market's too expensive. It's overvalued. You know, the US market's actually...
Is it ex-tech?
Well, it's not ex-tech, but, you know, the point is... Sure, there's pockets of value everywhere, absolutely. But the US in aggregate is overvalued. Sure. Tech's overvalued. I mean, the point is, stocks are a seventh of the global stock market capitalization. You know, 10 years ago, they would have been 5%. They're now 16, 17%. And the global stock market is a reflection of global corporate profits. So the US is the most expensive part of the global market. If you look at the equity risk premium, it's re-rated this year. So, yeah, I mean, I think the US is in for tough times.
It's fucked. I'll say it. I'll say it because he can't, because he's on mainstream media. But I'll say it for him. Check this out. Credit card users paid $130 billion. Folks, I'm saying billion with a B in fees and interest in 2022 alone. $130 billion. Americans paid $130 billion in interest and fees in 2022. Late fees continue to be the most significant penalty charged to cardholders. As big as these 2022 numbers are, I don't think anybody should be surprised if the 2023 numbers ended up being bigger. We're in for it. That is no bueno, mi amigo. American cardholders paid $130 billion in interest and fees in 2022. Cardholders were charged more than $105 billion in interest last year and $25 billion in fees. The tally represents the highest amount of interest and fees ever measured by the data set. Late payment charges are the most significant credit card fees in terms of frequency and cost. Consumers paid roughly $14.5 billion in such fees last year, which represents a return to the pre-Rona levels. The administration has focused on cracking down on what it terms junk fees with the FTC and CFPB in all areas of consumers' lives, including credit card penalties. Some credit card companies charge as much as $41 for a missed payment. The goal is to reduce late payment fees to $8, ban late fee amounts to go over 25% of the cardholders' required payments, and end automatic annual inflation adjustments. So I get the whole junk fee thing, but like statistically, that's a small portion of it. If we're looking at 130 billion, it's more of the interest being paid rather than the actual fees. I mean, like we're talking about 4/5 of the problem is the interest, while 1/5 of the problem is actually the fees. And for whatever reason, I suppose, I'm not complaining because it does help. But if we're looking at the actual issue is 105 billion, not really sizable, like relative to the 25 billion. And it's this 25 billion that the Biden administration is working on lowering, where I mean, call me crazy, but wouldn't better efforts be spent on trying to lower the 105 billion rather than the 25 billion? Whatever, I guess, your opinion is on it, I think we could all agree that 130 billion in fees in 1 year, and it's going up. That's crazy. Absolutely crazy. All right. Want to talk a little bit about today just because, yes, we started early. The show's in disarray. I went on a rant. Some of you are happy. Some of you are unhappy. And let's see if we could turn some of those frowns upside down. So we got the GDP report this morning. Came out higher than expected. The market's going up on the news, but it makes me feel a little sus just because we do live in the upside down. So generally good economic reports are bad and bad economic reports are good. And now we're seeing a good economic report lead to bullishness. I'm not buying it. Not buying it. I need to be convinced. Tomorrow before the market opens, we are streaming once again early 8:30 a.m. ET. We are getting another inflation report, this time the personal consumption expenditure. We're still in the middle of earnings season. Meta, I'm going to go over that. Today, after the market closes, we hear from Amazon, Intel, Enphase, Ford, Chipotle, and we're going to go over some of the ones from last night and early this morning. I do want to let you know the seasonality of today, Thursday, October 26th. Over the past 25 years, the bears have slightly had the edge, even though it's kind of climbing up. So it's kind of a neutral day. Yesterday was actually seasonally very bearish, and guess what? The market got murked. But with this, I just want to let you know today, seasonally neutral, but tomorrow very much favoring the bulls. And pay attention if you're on locals to the option strategy. Right now we are on a 16 win streak heater. 10 last week, 6 already this week, looking to continue that record to 18 today. These are the earnings we talked about. Feel free to screenshot this. Feel free to go at eWhispers on Twitter. It's a great account that always puts this kind of information out there. I personally find it to be very, very helpful, but these are some of the major earnings. So yesterday at the market close, Meta actually had a good report, but then that might be causing you to raise your eyebrow because you might be thinking, well, why is it down? Meta beats on top and bottom lines as digital ad recovery pushes revenue up 23%. So they beat on EPS. They beat on revenue. They beat on daily active users. Monthly active users was in line, and average revenue per user was above expectations. So across the board, Meta, the artist formerly known as Facebook, crushed it. But if you take a little looky-see at Meta right now, you might be thinking to yourself, what? Why is it down 2.8%? Why is it actually bouncing back, and it's still down 2.8%. In fact, it was way worse. In fact, it was all the way down to 286. So you could see the reaction. At first, when just the report came out, market ripped. But then they gave us guidance, and Meta got its teeth kicked in. Meta widens revenue guidance range because of Middle East unpredictability. So they're talking about how ads might be suffering in the upcoming quarter. And remember, it's, as Wayne Gretzky would say, it's not about where the puck is. It's not about how you did in the last quarter. It's about where the puck's going. It's about how the world thinks you're going to perform in the immediate future. That's what stock prices are really based on. It's not a backward-looking thing. It's a forward-predicting-looking thing. So the reaction was good because people were like, well, those were good numbers. I bet they're going to continue with good numbers this upcoming quarter. Then they got on the earnings call, and they said, We actually don't think that. And they kind of going the vibe of Tesla and Elon Musk were pretty pessimistic and gave definitely words of warning. And that's why Meta got absolutely rocked. In fact, a lot of big tech is getting rocked. This time around, the only one that's doing pretty well, well, actually, no, Netflix and Microsoft both did pretty well. But we're seeing Tesla falter. We're seeing Google falter. We're seeing Meta falter. Obviously, we still have to hear from Amazon. That comes out after the market closes today. And we also have to hear from Apple coming out next week. Big tech's disappointing earnings erased $200 billion in value. The so-called Magnificent Seven technology companies that have powered this year's U.S. stock rally are posting disappointing earnings, wiping $200 billion off the market value and threatening to push the S&P 500 into a correction. About $200 billion erased from big tech earnings. So Microsoft did well. They don't have Netflix on this list, but it also did well. Google, aka Alphabet, getting crushed. Tesla getting crushed. Meta getting crushed, but not to the same degree. So we still need to hear from Amazon, Nvidia, and Apple. But as of now, the net difference is a loss of $200 billion. Beyond the world of tech, we do have other earnings. Southwest slows 2024 growth as demand moderates. So Southwest is actually my favorite long-term investment in the airline industry. It just has the strongest balance sheet. But even with that being said, it is getting slaughtered ever since July. Another sign that the consumer is weakening. Airlines greatly benefit from cheaper oil and a very ravenous, I guess, user base consumer. When people have excess capital, excess income, excess disposable income, they like to travel. So when I see things like this, it tells me, something's going on with the consumer. Comcast revenue and profit top estimates as Universal theme park sales soar. I don't think many of you are the biggest Comcast traders. I just wanted to cover it anyway. 5 things to know before that stock market bell goes ding, 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 ding. Today, Thursday, October 26th. Before I go into this, you guys need to help me. Obviously, I'm not your financial advisors. You are my financial advisor. So as my freebie financial advisors, please tell me, are you bullish or bearish on the day? Now, I know I went over a lot of news and we have other things to be going over as well, but honestly, just flipping a coin is probably going to be more accurate than trying to digest the news and be like, well, because of this, that, and because of that thing, this thing. So how are you feeling? Like if you had to flip a quarter, how are you feeling on the day? I see beer, interesting. And then I see bear. So maybe a bearish bear, a bearish beer, blood red, bear, beer due to the current sentiment, bear, bearish, bullish. GDP was good. I'll go bull. I'm a unicorn. We have a unicorn in chat. Ask me at 10:02. Crap face. We have to ask. Crap face is declining to answer for about 45 minutes. Purple, sideways, a drunk bear, crypto, agree with bearish. All right. So you guys are all over the map. All right. Tech tumbles. Yeah. Microsoft, Netflix doing all right. The rest of them getting murked. Forward movement, the United Auto Workers, the UAW, maybe come into an agreement. First pick, Morgan Stanley has named its next CEO. Ted Pick will succeed James Gorman. I know we're all big into knowing who's going to be the next CEO, so there's that news. Meta revenue. So Meta crushed on its earnings, but its guidance, its forward-looking guidance, not so bueno. Spoken for. So we're talking about Mike Johnson. Big old Johnson from Louisiana is the new Speaker of the House. So I covered this in more detail in the update video. Speaking of the update video, why are you duties not watching it? Do you guys just, only like me in the morning? In the, I guess, like, confusing gray sun coming up and your eyes are kind of a little groggy, like almost in your like post wake up confusion? Is that the only times you like me? And then like by the end of the day when your head's a lot more clear, you're like, I don't need to watch Matt anymore. What's the deal? Why are you guys not watching the update videos? Live content is best. No, your content is best. People like Matt, not many. I think my mom says she does, but she just doesn't. No notification. I'm busy. Oh, you're busy? Oh, sorry. Evil Fandango's busy doing some evil devil stuff because he's so evil, some satanic worship. And he, take a break from drawing pentagrams in your cellar floor and just watch the video. How about that? Post nut clarity. We're going to end it on that one. Oh, one more. Yeah, FTX Sam Bankman-Fried will be, I guess, defending himself, which the only assumption I could come up with that is that they finally got him some Adderall so he can, I guess, be competent enough to speak for himself, I suppose. I don't know. Other things to pay attention to. Israel latest. Army briefly raids Gaza as airstrike continues. So let's give this a little listen.
What needs to be done right now is to deal with the context as it is in this particular moment, obviously with sensitivity towards the grievances, but with the recognition that Israel has a right to defend itself, that there is a severe humanitarian crisis in Gaza, and that there is an effort to get humanitarianism in.
Diplomatic efforts to avert a wider Middle East conflict intensifying as Qatar hints at breakthroughs in hostage release negotiations with Hamas. The U.S. pressing Gulf allies to help clamp down on a suspected increase in fundraising for Hamas, calling a special meeting to prevent more deadly attacks. A Treasury official saying, quote, "This moment should bring a profound sense of urgency, clarity, and purpose to the work that we do. The ability to act to cut off the financial flows that feed terrorism is a duty we all share." Joining us now is the one and only Anne-Marie Herdern in Washington, D.C. Anne-Marie, starting there, we also heard about a conversation through the Saudi prince, Mohammed bin Salman, and President Biden, which is highly unusual. What's the latest in the U.S.?
Actually, before we get into this, did you guys see that Gavin Newsom was meeting with President Xi Jinping of China? I think wait, where did they meet? Did Xi come to the U.S.? Like, was he in California? Also, this is a tough question. Who do you think is a worse human being? Gavin Newsom or Justin Trudeau? I know that's a tough one. And I know you guys don't like tough questions this early in the morning. I mean, heck, the market's not even open. But I'm going to do it because I know you guys already got up early, so your brain's already stimulated. You're probably on your fifth cup of coffee. Who do you think's a worse person? Gavin or Trudeau? People are saying Nancy Pelosi. Pelosi wasn't an option. You guys can't, there's no write-ins for this question. It's one or the other. You guys can't, you're not allowed to come up with your own. Both, once again, not an option. You have to pick one. That's the point of the challenge. Trudeau, but it's close. Gavin, Hillary. You guys are now saying Hillary. Not an option. Stop picking people who are not options to the question. Mitch McConnell. What is going on? You had Jada Pinkett Smith. She probably slept with both of them.
His attempt to stave off a regional conflict.
I've never seen Newsom or Trudeau in the same room.
Remember, this was an individual that President Biden, when he was campaigning, said he wanted to make a pariah. Now the U.S. really sees Saudi Arabia as an ally in the region, and especially when it comes to this conflict, because the United States is continuing their frenetic diplomacy, as are other world leaders. Frenetic? Because what world leaders want to make sure is that this conflict stays isolated within Israel and Gaza. They do not want to see this widening and spreading. So not only did we have that phone call yesterday between President Biden and Mohammed bin Salman, but also we have Emmanuel Macron, who's leaving Israel and visiting Egypt today. We have the Austrian Chancellor going to Israel. We have the Czech Prime Minister going to Israel. So you can see this flurry of diplomacy is not stopping. This is top of mind of world leaders. They want to make sure that they can contain this crisis.
You guys
and
have maturity issues.
We heard from the Qatari foreign minister, they seem to be making headway when it comes to hostages. That seems to be a main focus as well for global leaders.
How much is Israel listening to Biden when it comes to all of this? Is Biden directly talking with the Israeli government to try to maneuver in all of this?
Well, of course, we have President Biden holding a number of phone calls since the October 7th massacre with his counterpart, Benjamin Netanyahu. He obviously made that trip there. And then
Did she just spend all day practicing last names?
Publicly, U.S. officials will say they are offering intelligence. Obviously, the U.S. is standing shoulder to shoulder with Israel. They've made that clear. But what we have reported is that European and U.S. officials have been pressuring Israel to slow down any ground invasion until they could potentially make headway when it comes to hostages. When President Biden was asked about a ceasefire, he said, we need to get those hostages out first, then come talk to me.
Anne-Marie, thank you so much.
Wait. I wanted to listen to her say.
What needs to
be, as are other world leaders, because what world leaders want to make sure is that this conflict stays isolated within Israel and Gaza. They do not want to see this widening and spreading. So not only visiting Egypt today. We have the Austrian chancellor going to Israel. We have the Czech prime minister going to Israel. So you can see Biden and Mohammed bin Salman, but also we have Emmanuel Macron who's leaving
Listen
Israel.
to that.
Between President Biden and Mohammed bin Salman, but also we have Emmanuel Macron who's
Emmanuel Macron. Emmanuel Macron.
And Mohammed bin Salman, but also we have Emmanuel Macron who's
Emmanuel Macron. Dude. Crushed it.
But also we have Emmanuel Macron who's
dude just rolls off the tongue.
bin Salman, but also we have Emmanuel Macron who's
Emmanuel Macron, like she became a native speaker for a second.
Between President Biden and Mohammed bin Salman, but also we have Emmanuel Macron who's
dude nailed it. Absolutely nailed it. I don't even know what was said in that clip now because I was so fascinating with that pronunciation. I'm jealous. You guys are calling me out. You're like, oh, I am jealous. I wish I could. There's a lot of words I wish I could pronounce. And dude, I feel like I am very, very jealous. I'm not trying to hide that from anyone. I'm going to be spending dude, why? Does anyone know how to get rid of these? These are, no, get down. Why are these popping up now? This is annoying. How do I stop? How do I get rid of those stupid alerts? Is it here? Notifications. Does anyone know? First person who tells me how to get rid of those alerts will in fact receive a gold star. I'm not messing around. I will. Tell me how to turn them off. Someone tell me how to turn them off and you will be getting a gold star. I'm not playing around. Alt F4. I don't feel like that's right. Alt F4, once again, not right. Turn off your computer, uninstall. Settings. Alt F4. Stop telling me to do Alt F4. Stop telling me to unplug. None of you are getting gold stars. You're not tricking me with that one. Click on alerts off. Where is the alerts? Click on alerts. Alerts. What is this? Copy link. Nope. You guys are Control Alt Delete. Stop being cheap. Throw your computer out the window. Hammer Alt 69. It's a idiot error in ID 10T. Control Alt Delete. Alt F4. You guys are. I don't know why I do this. All day I just jump through hosts. I'm looking at my alerts, but those are trading alerts. What is the notifications? Comments, boosts, mentions, follows, streams, notifications. This is all like with the stuff you could Minds. Nope, it's not under that. Is it under, can I find out in what's new? What's new? Draw irregular shapes. No. Australian Securities Exchange brings its futures data to TradingView. Rectangle data drawing now in the middle. Draw raw separate data for Forex. TradingView joins forces with the United National Distance Education University. TradingView product update. I mean, there's literally a gold star on the line, and you guys are just like, you're trolling me instead. You're like, current settings of chart settings events. Bob, you could always settings. Wait, what did you say? Chart settings and then events. Chart settings, chart settings, events. Apply to all. Bobby boy. Bob gets the gold star. So for all of you who were trying to make jokes at my peril, Bob is the person who's actually getting to laugh. Because as all of you are going throughout your day, maybe a little bit too light, just a little bit too much of a bounce in your pocket, understand that you're the big loser here because Bob is not moving around in such a light mood because he has a fat gold star around his neck holding him down. So you guys, I hope you enjoyed your 1 to 2 minutes of laughs and ha-has and hee-hees, but the real winner here is Bob. Bob gets the gold star, and he's going to be dangling that thing off his neck for decades to come. So ask yourself, was it really worth it? Was it really worth it to pick on me for a little bit as Bob gets to live in eternal glory? Listen, I only did it because it pisses me off at the same time. Well, Bob, you and I are cut from the same cloth, and now you have a gold star to prove it. So congratulations. That is resume worthy. If you put it on your LinkedIn, I will support it. Like, you know how you could be like, you vote on it? Bob gets a gold star. Bob gets a gold star, and none of you guys got one today. That's for sure. That's for freaking sure. You're lucky I actually didn't start slinging out demerits. That's how close I was. That's how close I was. I just didn't do it because I know you guys don't want me to get so angry so early in the morning. It's not good for my blood pressure, but we were there. We were getting close to the demerit level. Why does LinkedIn have 19K employees? I don't know. I think LinkedIn is just like, does anyone actually use LinkedIn? Like, I know people use it, but I don't find it to be actually useful. There's a very big difference between people using it and it being useful. Ban Bob? We can't ban Bob. He has a gold star. He basically has like an idol on Survivor where even if I wanted to ban him, he could just throw out the gold star and be like, actually, you can't. He basically has a get out of jail free card, which actually, oddly enough, I've been speaking with recent law enforcement. Gold stars on this channel can legitimately be used for getting out of jail for free per gold star that you have, regardless of the crime. We're not necessarily fully in the U.S., but we're in a lot of places within the U.S. So, Bob, if you ever get in legal trouble, feel free. Give it a try. Try to use the gold star. Statistically, there's a high chance that it will actually get you out of jail. Monopoly, oddly enough, it can't be used in Monopoly. It can be used in the actual legal jail system, but not in the board game Monopoly. How weird is that? You know? How weird is that? Well, on that particular note, dingity ding ding ding, the casino is open. Best of luck to all. Play responsibly. If not, just crush it. Just crush it. Just crush the market's skull into the sidewalk and make so much money you don't even care about it. Just, oh my God, just bash its skull like over and over. Just crush and crush and crush and crush. Sorry, I just got a little excited about what's going on in the market today. The major call out I'm going to make is the upside gap fill to 417.02. 417.02. That's my call out for the day. Upside gap fill, easy peasy lemon squeezies. Is it going to happen? I don't know. I know there's high odds of it, but that's not a guarantee. But that would be what I would be looking at. John's like, whoa, whoa, man, that got dark real quick. That got dark a little too quick. Yes, looking at the upside gap fill to 417.02. I myself am not going to be doing anything until the first 10, 20, 30 minutes go by. I want to see how things are structuring themselves. So if I miss the play, I miss the play. It happens. As we're waiting for the market to open, this trading that I do right here, the prop account stuff, basically like the sim trading, where if you're good, you can actually make real money. Once again, it's not easy to pass, but if you're good at it, you can get 90% off. So the 50K account would now cost you, why is it? I think it's, $167 a month. That's the full price. So with 90% off, you'd be paying just under $17. So you could get a 90% off right now. They're basically just celebrating that they've done $50 million in payouts. So if you are all interested in basically trading on leverage on a sim account, if you do well, getting money, you've seen me do it. It's a more enjoyable way to be a full-on DGen. Well, right now you could get 90% off, pinned to the top of chat in the description of the video. And let's set up an alert. Let's set up an alert for the upside. Oh, actually, even though I said one trade idea, I'm going to give you two upside gap fills. The Qs, the tech sector, has an upside gap fill to 349.75, while the SPY has an upside gap fill to 417.02. Those would be the two levels I'm watching out of the gate. And speaking of watching, I need to close some of these. Close. I need to get... trying to get... I have a Q and a SPY call credit spread from yesterday expiring today, kind of like a bonus one I was doing. And I'm liking it. Well, that one just hit. So there's that. Congrats. Upside gap fill hit on the SPY. Congrats to all who played. If you did it at open 614.45, you made about 55 cents. And the Qs just hit too. You're welcome. It's almost as if just some basic levels of mathematics can make you money in the market. You know how, like in school, we used to find all those like math nerds that were like socially awkward, and we just like beat the shit out of them, just shove them into lockers, make fun of them, physically assault them, emotionally assault them, spiritually assault them, metaphysically assault them. Like those nerdy kids where like they couldn't talk, they didn't really have friends, they were awkwardly good at math. Like those kids, like we all just like had a great time like making their life absolute hell because it was like a power dynamic thing. Well, those are the people making a shitload of money now. It's those kinds of people who know things like this, and they just make money hand over fist. So you should probably apologize to them and ask them if you can work for their hedge fund or just work for them in general, as they have like a new app that's taking off or something like that. But basic statistics will tell you that was something that was playable. You could have leveraged it with call options. You could have leveraged it on the futures market. They're the kids that maybe give them a ring and a ding, ding, ding. Maybe DM them on MySpace. Maybe look at their LinkedIn profile and realize that now they're rich and probably married some model that is many years younger. Sorry, Matt, can I work for you? Oh, no. I'm in the middle of myself apologizing to those kids, hoping that they'll employ me. I'll be like, oh, dude, the content career not really working. And I'm sure you remember my jokes of me picking on you for all of like high school, but like it was jokes and I only did it because we're best buddies, right? And they're not really the most receptive to it because they can just see through my bullshit, but who knows? Speaking of being a nerd, I got new glasses. Remember last week when none of you asked, but I informed you anyway, that my eyes are becoming elongated more than normal because of this job. Basically, I'm looking at something that's too close without ever looking far away, and that causes your eyes to elongate to bring the focal point closer to you. So basically, me in this career is ruining my eyes. But anyway, my vision has gone from negative 0.5, which is kind of, it's not far away from perfect. It's like in terms of magnitude, it's not bad. But anyway, I'm getting farther away from that. And now I have negative 0.75. So I got new glasses and I was going to wear them today, but then I thought you guys were going to make fun of me for looking like a nerd. So I didn't wear them because I care very, very deeply about your opinions of me. As much as I act like a tough guy. An astigmatism, I do have an astigmatism in my right eye. I guess an astigmatism just means that like your pupil, really your like field of vision isn't like the four quadrants aren't perfectly symmetrical. And it could be, I don't know. I do have an astigmatism in one of my eyes, but I don't really know what it is. And she explained it to me and I was like, well, that's crazy. And I really wasn't listening fully because like I was focusing on the word astigmatism. Like, would you say you have a astigmatism? Would you say you have an astigmatism? Like, I got really caught up in the grammar of it because astigmatism already sounds like it's two words, but it's one word. It sounds like we're talking about stigmatism. I have astigmatism, but really, what? I have an astigmatism? Like, it sounds weird. I know it's an astigmatism because we're starting with a vowel. I get the grammar rules, but does that not sound crazy? Astigmatism, I don't know how that one got passed as a word because it sounds like it's two words. Astigmatism. It sounds like the word should be stigmatism. And we're just saying, oh, I have a stigmatism. But really you're saying, I have an astigmatism. Like you're forcing it to say fast. And I don't want to say it fast. Like, I feel like some dingus came up with some stupid grammar rule, or really, no, the rule's good, but then someone came up with a word that like makes the rule, like you just want to yeet it out the window. And it frustrates me. So anyway, when she was explaining to me what an astigmatism is, I got focused on the word, so I didn't fully listen to what astigmatism is. Previously, without glasses, I couldn't look down and count my toes. Is that like a vision thing, or is that like a weight thing, Shan? The Shan son. Are we talking like, do you have a little bit of a beer gut? Were you putting a roof over the things that you care about most? Or was it a vision thing? You could be honest. You're with thousands of friends and family here. Thousands. What was it? Vision. That's what they all say. That's what they all say. Hey, some of my trades just filled. Well, it wasn't those trades though. Just that premium from yesterday. I think it's finally collecting. Am I out yet? Did I get my fill? How many do I have left? I still have 40. Wait a second. Well, that just filled. Oh, you guys are hearing the dings, but you're not seeing the trades. The queues just got filled. This is slowly getting filled. I have 2 left. I was doing some YOLO stuff yesterday for today. Okay, just all got filled. So these are the ones. I had a 50 lot and a 20 lot on a spread that obviously decayed overnight. Hang on. Hide this column, hide this column, hide this column, hide this column, hide this column. I guess these columns are acceptable to keep. What? Oh, because it's averaging out. So this one, 20 decayed, 22 decayed, nope, 20 decayed to 1. And where's the Qs? I don't know where the Qs one is, but we had a 50 lot at some point filled time. The Qs, all right, 12 decayed to 1, and I had 50 of those. So 50 for every one. I had 11, so that was 550. And then 20 for every one of those, so that was 17 times 20, so 340. So nice 800 locked in. This account growing slowly but surely. It's going to be a lot slower than like your classic DGen options because I'm not ever going long calls. I'm not ever going long puts. I'm just selling premium as proof of 2 things. I hear that you cannot be profitable trading 0 DTEs, so I'm doing 0 DTEs. And I also hear that there's no exciting growth selling premium. Well, the account started with 30K and it's up almost 10%. It's up like 9.9%. Actually, 9.9% in about a week and a half. So it's slow and steady. Like, of course, you're not getting like some mega trade. But I like the odds of it a bit better. So up almost 10% in about a week. Slow and steady wins the race. Slow and steady. Spy, where to, Matt? And swinging low, sweet chariot. We swinging low, sweet chariot? What does that mean? Spy to where, Matt? We swinging low, sweet chariot. We swing. Jacob. What? We swinging low, sweet. What in the world could that mean? We swinging. I gotta Google this. Is this offensive? Swing. It's a song? Reba McEntire? Are you a big Reba fan? I didn't know that Jacob was a huge Reba fan. Good for you, man. You know, haven't heard Reba McEntire's name in a bit, but the fact that you're bringing her back, I'm a fan. I'm a fan. Anywho, daily chart. Well, first thing, already kind of right here, upside gap fill. That happened. Now we're at an important level, 416. We've been talking about this for a hot minute. If 416 cannot hold, or 416, even call it the intraday low, if this region cannot hold, I am then looking all the way down here at 414, technically just below 414. On the other side, if we get above and hold above, well, maybe a little bit of a recovery to like where we battled it out yesterday, 418. If it's showing some real strength, maybe 420. So basically 417, if we can get above and hold above 417, I'm then watching 418 followed by 420. On the flip side, if we cannot hold 416, I'm basically watching 414. I think the bears in a medium term sense have the upper hand, but today could still be a green day. You can still have green days when things are trending bearishly, as an example of Monday and Tuesday, the 23rd and 24th of literally this week. So today itself, those are going to be the levels I'm watching. But if we zoom out for the swing traders, clearly the bears are in control. Clearly the bears are in control. So watching this 417, probably gonna be useful, I would argue, to hang on, let's double this up, let's double the chart up, and then let's we'll do this US 10Y, and then also let's track the dollar. If the dollar rips, if yields go up, bad. If the dollar drops, if yields drop, bullish. We're looking to see which way yields and the dollar trend to get a, well, dude, I didn't realize that the dollar ripped this hard overnight. Holy crap. I looked at this and I was like, oh, the dollar's coming down, not realizing that we are sky high relative to yesterday. The dollar's over 106.50. So pay attention to the dollar, pay attention to yields. Let's go to the 15-minute. Yields taking a little bit of a breather right now. Okay, so yields potentially in the short term breaking down, the dollar potentially in the short term breaking down. Honestly, this might be starting to favor the bulls. Like if we see the dollar continue to vomit, if we see the yields, once again, in the short term, continue to vomit, today itself might be a bullish day. Obviously, on the daily time frame, they've been really strong. But if we're talking about intraday trades, as of now, looking at yields, looking at the dollar, the bulls might have the upper hand, like intraday for today. So paying attention to that. Definitely paying attention to that. How's bitty Bitcoin doing? Bitcoin holding 34K. Meta did report Meta getting knocked down to 285. Meta's down 4.8%. At a support level, though. Netflix is in the green, holding above 400 at 416. ETH is in the green. Tesla's at 209. Dude, Tesla might be battling it out at 200 today. SPY potentially getting rejected here. You know what? As we're waiting for this to kind of give us a little bit of structure on the day, let's see what the options market is doing. Options market, we'll drop this, we'll do this, we'll do this, we'll do that, we'll hit this. Options market picking up ever since 1040. Don't forget, at 10 a.m. today, there is some sort of, I think, real estate macroeconomic report. But at 10 a.m., there is another report. So this is how the SPY looks. Options flat, maybe favoring the bulls ever so slightly. And let's look at the tech sector. Nope. The tech sector, we'll do that. Nope. Yep. Okay. Tech sector. Well, that was literally the exact same. I'm embarrassed. Here we go. Tech sector also kind of flat, kind of picking up. So not too much to go off of at this point, but something worthwhile to pay attention to. All right, as we're waiting for this to go, obviously, we're going to be maybe doing some degen prop trades today. If you want to do some prop trading, basically the in-between of a paper account and then also risking all of your own money. That's how I view prop trading. It's like you're risking a little bit of money, and if you do well, you can actually make a lot of bit of money, but you're just not risking all of your own. So that's what I like about it, probably the best way I can explain it. The reason I'm bringing it up is because right now Apex is running a 90% off deal. So instead of costing $167, it costs $16.70. So for any of you who are like, yeah, I want to try degen prop trading, where basically if you can beat the sim, maybe you can make some actual money. I want to be honest, it's not the easiest thing to pass, but right now it is pretty cheap to at least attempt it. So pinned to the top of chat in the description of the video. And hopefully a little bit later on today, I'll be able to sling some of those trades. Is this actually turning? Options flat, a little bullish there. What else are we seeing? Let's do it.
Order filled. Target filled.
One hit. 1 out of the 6.
Target filled.
All right. 4 out of the 6. Come on, 2 more.
Target filled.
1 more. 1 more. 1 more. 1 more. Un más. Un más. Un más. Come on.
Target
there
filled.
we go. 6 out of 6. 320 locked in. Now, how can you make 320s in sub 1 minute, in sub 2 minutes? Well, you have to be a degenerate and take serious size. Not something necessarily I feel the most comfortable with in my own money account, but if I'm using someone else's money, I'm more than happy. Oh, you missed it. Fuck. No. Well, now I have to do it again. You guys missed it. I mean, I guess I made 320, but this is on the prop account. But it doesn't count because you guys didn't see it. You heard it, but you know what they say about your ears, as deceitful as could be.
Order target filled. Order target filled.
1 more. 1 more.
Target filled.
Boom. We did it even more now. So now we're up to 525. You saw that one, and there's no excuses if you didn't. So you saw it at 320, but it didn't count because you didn't see it. So then in a, 10 more second trade, 15 more second trade, we added another 200 to that stack. But as I was alluding to make that money this quickly, you have to be betting size on something that is very, very leveraged. So it's 4 degens. Let's just be honest. It's 4 degens. And I like that. That's for whatever reason. It's part of my personality. It's part of my DNA. It's what gets me up in the morning. And if that's similar to you and you want to do it in a way where you don't have to risk tens of thousands of dollars of your own money, that's exactly what I'm doing it on. Like I do this via Apex. That's what I'm talking about. So right here, the 90% off deal, this is the time for you to try it if you're so interested. And obviously, if you do it well over a series of time, you can make actual money. So all the details are here on the website, but I guess this deal is running for another 12 days. So I just wanted to let you know what's going on. But anyway, this is the code, these random letters. It is pinned to the top of chat. It's in the description of the video. But if you want to degen trade or at least give it an attempt, this is where I end up doing it. But the fact that I'm up 500, I want to be disciplined so I can get this prop account like passing the test. So I'm going to exit out right now. No need to push my luck. But we do have some other things that I'm going to trade on my own account today as well. I'm going to sell some premium today as well. So various things that still need to happen. Various things. Dude, I got rid of these. Bob, you see this stuff? Settings, events, news, apply to all. Apply to all, apply to all, apply to all. Don't give me news updates. That's crazy. That's craziness, man. Of course I'm saving that. Load layout. Let's look at the tech sector. Queues. Okay, the queues are vomiting. 87. You know what? Oh, how much of a degenerate do I want to be today? I was about to chase it, and then I saw it popping, and I was like, oh, okay, maybe I shouldn't. Trying to be a little bit more. I just want to get my one trade in so I can shut the program down.
Oh, brother.
Oops, I didn't have the order. $40, $45. All right. My one degen on my actual account going for a quick 265. I would love for it to hit in the first minute. It's a little chasey. It's a little dumb. It's 100% degen. This is by someone who's clearly not a trained professional. So on that note, I would not recommend this to any of my viewers, especially any of the children in the audience. No, well, it was up. Now it's up. Now it's down. Come on, dude. Just quick little flush. Get me my fill so I can shut the program down. I'm here. The market gods above. I'm attempting to be disciplined. And I hit this trade, I shut the program down. I'm not gonna push my luck. I'm just gonna do this one trade, in, out. Uh-oh. I knew I shouldn't have chased it. I mean, I literally said it before that I was chasing it to the downside. And here we go. Uh-oh. Well, now this is what happens. This is what happens when you do it beforehand. I should have waited till 10. This is the punishment you get for breaking your rules. How many ticks was that? It depends on what, because I was trading ES and like and as in also NQ. So I was trading the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ, 3 contracts on both. And so that was 6, but I didn't show it to you. So then I traded 4 more to prove to you that I am in fact the best degenerate trader on this side of the Mississippi. Sorry, I'm late, Matt. Did you speak about Simon's Energy today? I did not. But also demerit. Here we go. 3 minutes for $265? 3 minutes of effort for $265? I'll take that. I mean, I usually don't like to work 3 minutes a day. I usually like to keep it sub 1 minute. Brother. But all right, we'll lock that in. Cancel this order. As I said, I promised the market gods above, if they help me with that trade, I would keep it to this one trade for today. I locked in 264. We're crushing it. Done. Closing it. Yes. Done. Now all I have to do is sell premium. There we go. Dude, folks, I get this question a lot. When I go outside, I get bombarded. Hey, can I take a picture? Can you sign this autograph? It's actually really awkward, but I mean, the amount of like just underwear and bras thrown at me on a daily basis, especially when I'm with my fiance, it's embarrassing, but it's the curse of my life. It's the curse of being the best degenerate trader on this side of the Mississippi. When I go out anywhere, everyone notices. They're like, is that him? Is that thick Kohrs right here? And it's crazy, but it's just the burden I have to bear. So folks, I know you look at me and you watch me every single day and you're like, dude, I wish I could just trade the way Kohrs does. But understand what you're wishing for. Like, understand that it's not all that it's cracked up to be. It really isn't. Like, not everyone can handle only having to work 3 minutes a day. A lot of people, they like to work longer. Not everyone can handle the adulations of tens, if not hundreds of thousands of people on the internet. Not everyone can handle just like the general superior amount of success I have in my life. A lot of people like trials and tribulations. And I'm in this world where like it just all works all of the time. And so just before you're like, dude, I wish I could do that, understand like what you're really wishing for. That's like my message to you is like, do you want easy amounts of money and fame and no problems? Like, that's not something that most people want to deal with. A lot of people like the challenge of life and bills and the difficulties of trading. And, you know, it's I just want you guys to understand what you're really wishing for. Such a douchebag. I need more friends. I can't even keep a straight face on it. Oh my God. This is why I love that TikTok investor account, because those people like actually believe it. You caught me reading the dictionary. I like to break a mental sweat too. Love it. Love it. All right. Let's do a little bit of a celebration and then get back to it. So once again, 10 a.m. report coming out. Hang on. Let me log in. What is my log? I always forget my login. I give my producer my password. Oh, I got it on the first try.
Wall Street, 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 Wall Street. Now my stock rising, got the eyes on me. Wall Street.
Quick business pitch. Would you guys buy this shirt if when you receive it, you also get a handwritten love letter from me? Is that a business venture you guys would be interested in? So not only a degenerate trader, but like a love message that like you could use to maybe like, I don't know, you plant it and like maybe your fiance or wife or husband or boyfriend or something gets mad and you're like, no, like it's not real. Like it's do you know how crazy that would actually sound? If you're like, no, it's a joke. I'm not cheating on you. It's a streamer. And like, it actually sounds, the reality of it would sound crazier than if you were just cheating on them. If you were like, no, like you don't get it. Like I bought a shirt and with the shirt came a love letter and he was even joking about it on stream of how it would cause problems in our relationship. And like, that's not believable. No one would believe you. Like the rest of us in here would believe you, but no way would someone in your real life believe you. Which I think could make it fun. And then we could do like an update series of like, where are they now? Like a 90 days after, like when you're like now single and like hating life and all that stuff. Just an idea. Just something the team and I are kicking around. Because then we get to make content out of it too. Not only are we selling shirts, I get to work on my word Smithsonian skills, professing my love for you, which is equivalent to the passion of 1,000 burning suns. I think we're onto something. But then we also get content afterwards of like, yeah, no, like it was a joke that got out of hand and now I'm single. Now I'm like, I can't live and like I got fired from my job because I was drinking too much. I think it could be cool. I think it could be, I just think there's something there. And I see it. Some of you right away, you were very quick. Your knee-jerk reaction was to say no. But let it settle. I mean, this is the exact same reaction when people are like, I'm going to go to the moon. A lot of people, like the naysayers in here, were like, no, you're not. And then guess what? We fictitiously went to the moon and made a lot of people believe we actually went to the moon. But still, it counts. It counts. So to all the naysayers who within seconds said no in here, just understand, you're anti-space travel. You're anti-America. You're anti-success, dare I say it. So just let that stick in. Let just ruminate on that. Let that percolate tonight when you're like, dude, why did I say no? Are you just a negative Nancy? Are you the person who just shuts down all dreams? The people who said no right away, it has the vibe of like a little kid runs up to you and they're like, I'm going to be a neurosurgeon. And you're like, you're a dumbass. It has the exact same vibe. Like you're just a negative Nancy. Like just be more optimistic. Don't be that person. No one wants the realist. No one wants the pessimist. Everyone wants the optimist. Report, buddy. Matt Kohrs reporting for duty. Reporting for streaming duty. Why am I still getting these alerts? Apply to all. I'm applying it to all. Stop giving me those stupid alerts. Just something to think about. You guys didn't know that this was just an extended form TED Talk, did you? Pending home sales up when they were expecting a drop of 1.8, came in at 1.1. And hey, let's see if you guys have been learning. So we got a good economic report and now the market's getting hit. Why is that? There's one line that I've been teaching you folks for about 6 to 8 months. Why is it in a one-line answer that we got a good economic report and the market went down? Huh? I'm only seeing wrong answers. Dylan threw his, her bra, methinks. That's not it. Good equals bad. Kind of. Folks, yes, T-Mac. We live in the upside down. This is just, you know how we all saw that Netflix show, Stranger Things? That's the state of the economy. We live in the upside down. Good is bad, bad is good. Illegal things are legal. Legal things are now illegal. I could actually argue that if you pay your taxes on time, you're breaking the law now. Just the transitive property of living in the upside down. The reason I use that as an example, I'm not going to name names because I don't want to hurt someone else's business, but I have an accountant. I know a lot of you guys look at me and you're like, dude, that guy does his own taxes because his brain's the size of Jupiter. No, I don't, because my brain's not that big. In fact, they wanted to hold me back a couple of years, if you know what I mean. Like it was those early years in my education were a little bit suspect, to say the least. But anywho, all that to say, I don't do my own taxes. I hire a professional to do my taxes. So I've had the same professional doing my taxes for 2021. So I reached out to them in 2020. Then they started in 2021, did it in 2022, and I was going to use them in 2023. Recently, the state of Pennsylvania reached out to me because don't forget, I used to live in Philadelphia. I lived in Philadelphia in 2021. So the state of Pennsylvania reached out to me and they said, hey, buddy, hey, Matt, if that is your real name, not only do you owe us $1,000, but you actually owe us $2,500 because you didn't pay the $1,000 bill, but now we're going to charge interest on top of it. And I thought, well, that's weird because I gave you guys a shitload of money. So why do I owe you more money? Like, what gives? So I took a picture of the correspondence with the state of Pennsylvania and I sent it to my accountant. And the accountant responded to me and they said, yeah, it's because you didn't do your quarterly payments. So this is just the fine that's assessed on top of it. I was like, okay. I kind of get that. But first of all, it's not just the fine, it's interest now on top of the fine. So it's not just the fine. It's now in excess of the fine. But the craziest thing is in the email chain that goes back to 2021, they're literally telling me to not do quarterly payments. It's better to take that fine and then just use money because most likely, theoretically, because I know about the stock market, theoretically, I should be better at managing money than giving it to the government. So why do quarterly payments where I could leverage it? And ideally, if I leverage it better, I make more money than the interest payment. So it's a roundabout way to say I'm net ahead. So keep that in mind. That's important for this story. So I send them the fine with the interest payments. I'm like, what is this about? And they're like, well, you didn't pay the fine and you should be doing quarterly payments. I was like, what the fuck are you smoking? Literally, this email chain is proof of you telling me to not do quarterly payments. And even if I get that there's going to be a fine associated, I'm not saying that wasn't deserved because that's how it works. But the interest, I was like, why wouldn't you tell me to go actually pay the fine so no interest is accruing? And in general, you're now telling me to do quarterly payments when in this thread, you're telling me to not do quarterly payments? So I don't know, dude. I'm just at the point where taxes are bullshit. Accounting is bullshit. It's all, dude, nothing is real. I've come to the realization that it just doesn't matter. Dude, nothing's real. It doesn't matter. Trading is made up. Markets are made up. The economy is made up. Politics is made. It's all made up. The only true thing we have in this world is your fishing level on RuneScape. I know this is a hot take, and maybe some of you will agree, and maybe some of you won't agree, but at least I have the chutzpah to tell you guys the truth. The only thing that matters is fly fishing in the barbarian village on old school RuneScape. Not only are you simultaneously increasing your fishing level, but because you're using a barbarian rod, you're also slowly increasing your agility level. That's it. If we were to look at some cold, hard truths of life, that's where we'd be at, folks. That's exactly where we would be at. So it is what it is. Matt, telling everyone he's an AI deep fake personality. I wish I was deep. I'm so superficial. As superficial as it gets. I wish I had a centimeter of depth to my personality. I'm just the shell of a man. I'm the corn husk of a human man. Matt, you have a super chat. Oh, what does it say? Matt, why are my put options going higher when the market goes up instead of down? If I had calls, I would be losing so much. Because remember, the value of options, well, first of all, it's just set by the market, but what the market cares about is not just price, they also care about volatility. So it did go up, but remember the market, I don't know when you got into puts, but remember that the value of an option, it is based on the price of the underlying, but it's also greatly based on the volatility of the underlying. Another important thing to pay attention to. Hang on one second. I do. need to place some trades. I need to sell some preem. You guys know me when it comes to premium. I'm just more. We'll do. All right. One order sent. Let's see if we can get another order out there. One got filled. Okay, I did 2 call credit spreads. One on the SPY, one on the Qs. Actually, the Qs one has not hit yet. Why not? I'm on the bid. All right, I'm just waiting for that to hit. But that's pretty much it for me. I did some degenerate prop stuff. I did some degenerate future stuff in my own account. And now I'm just doing my real legitimate strategy of selling premium, which thus far, we're on a heater, dude. We are on a heater unlike the Phillies. I'm currently on a 16 wing streak. 16? Best to ever do it. The best to ever do it. But I want to make sure this trade actually gets in. Why is it not going in? All right, cool. Cool. Very quickly, I will post that on locals. I just want to see what's going on. Q options picking up, but the market not following. Interessante. The SPY getting pummeled right now. Do I want to do another degenerate thing? Oops. Didn't mean to shut that down. Oops. Uh-oh. Hang on. I need to do one more thing and then I could get to your questions. Wait a minute. Is that going to fail? Is there a liquidity problem? Cancel. No! Oops. It got to fill before I could cancel it. Well, c'est la vie. 'Tis my burden to bear today. I did 2 legitimate 0 DTEs, and then I did one like D-Gen one that I just thought was fun to do. Okay, what were your questions? Questions, comments, concerns, hit me, folks. What you need to know, market getting rocked, support at 414. If that doesn't hold, I'm watching 410. If it does bounce off of 414, I'm then watching 417. Both of them have, they're basically like the Qs literally just hit a new intraday low. And the SPY is like dancing around at its intraday low. What else do we have going on? On the 10-minute, it's potentially a breakdown, actually. Right here, we got below when we closed below this 48 EMA. On the 10-minute, I find that to be very important. The 30-minute was clearly rejected at its 48 EMA. And then on the daily, we're way below the bears in control, lower highs, lower lows. On the 3-minute, vomit here. So we're seeing a vomit, even though it looked bullish on the 3 and the 10. We're now seeing a vomit. The 3 is actually now crossing over. And the 10-minute, if it cannot quickly recapture this 4186 level, I think we might be having a downward trend reversal. Pretty much a similar situation. The Qs are a bit weaker, probably because Google's getting murked, Meta's getting murked. 30-minute rejected at the 48 EMA. The 3-minute's already vomiting. The 10-minute not even close to recapturing. The 10-minute might be crossing over here. And same thing on the daily, just lower highs, lower lows. As of this moment, as of 10:12 in the morning, it looks like the bulls attempted to get some control and they're getting murked, which makes sense because we got a good GDP report and the market went up. But don't forget, we live in the upside down. Didn't really make sense that it was going up. Let's check in. Yield may be recovering. The dollar is now bouncing. So that report, what was it? This report that came out at 10, pending home sales, came in at 1.1. The expectation was a drop of 1.8. Demand too high. Concerns about the Fed's hawkishness, most likely. Yield starting to pop slightly, but the dollar really starting to pop. If the dollar keeps going up, and it is looking strong, like it looks like we're actually doing it was strong, fake out breakdown. Now it's ripping. That's going to put downward pressure. Definitely downward pressure. T-shirt idea, Matt Creams for premium. I like it. Hey, buddy, my spy calls are getting brutally boo-fooed. There's still 3 weeks left to expiration, 4/28. Should I let them ride? My mom abandoned me as a child. Lots of things to break down there. So your mom abandoned you as a child. That seems like to be the big one. So let's tackle that first. I feel like I'm going to give you a piece of advice that you probably haven't heard before, but as a child, what did you do to make her abandon you? Like right here, what I'm seeing you do is blame a hard-working woman for a decision she was forced to make, and you're putting the blame on her, the onus on her, when maybe you need to look in the mirror and ask yourself, as a child, what did you do to deserve it? So maybe just a little food for thought there of let's not blame moms. This isn't a community where we're going to blame moms. Like I want to make it very clear. I'm on the side of moms here, not on the side of kids. Kids suck. I was ugly. Okay, so we have it from the poster himself, Alpha Kenny Man. That's a funny name. Right. Maybe do something about your ugliness. I mean, I get it. We as a society put on this charade, if you will, that moms have to like their kids. But out of anyone in this world, who looks at you the most, especially as a child? A mom. So if you're ugly, that means you're forcing your mom to look at your ugliness a lot. Something to consider. Now that we have more information, I understand. If you're ugly, dude, it makes sense. Do something about it. Second part, talking about your calls. Dude, 428 and the market's getting murked. Obviously, anything can happen, but I would say your odds are low. So maybe try to start saving yourself. Why not try to sell some preem against it? How many weeks do you have? Still 3 weeks. So on a daily basis, why don't you sell calls? Why don't you short calls against the call that you're long? And just try to lower the cost of it, because it sounds like you're getting screwed. So just use the call that you're long, and that will be your synthetic long position. So to protect yourself, sell. You're basically creating a calendar spread, but on a daily or weekly basis, you can lower your risk by selling calls against it. So you said 428. I don't know when you got into it, so I don't know the premium, but sell. Like you could do it on whatever time cadence you want. You could do it daily. You could do it weekly. You could do it every other day. If you sell premium and the market doesn't end up above that, you can take the premium that you collected, your credit, and subtract that from the debit on the position. And if you do that enough, you could get close to break even, or potentially even in profit. So you don't necessarily have to throw in the white towel here. You could just sell premium against it and lower your burden. Does that make sense? I would, if I were in your position, I was like, dude, this thing has gone tits up, and in the bad way, I would just sell premium against it to lower my overall risk. That's what I would do. But also, remember, I'm a dipshit. So you have to ask yourself, do you want to do what a dipshit would do? Or do you want to do what someone else would do? And that's up to you. That's only a question you could answer, my man. Everyone smash the like button. That's a good reminder. Kudri, thank you for that. Yeah, folks, if you're watching this, hit the like button. Subscribe. Do whatever you want, whatever makes you feel better in life. So someone asked me, did I hear about HYMC? In fact, I did. So HYMC is a play that got pumped by Adam Aaron of AMC. HYMC is effectively a defunct mining operation in Nevada, and everything about it yells scam. And now they're about to get delisted to sort of battle against it getting delisted. They are going to be doing a reverse share split, I suppose. And that's why it's down by 16% today. But that's a brutal hit. But look at what happened. This is where Adam Aaron pumped it. And ever since then, it does nothing but die and die and die. Major timeframes, year to date, it's down 54%. Past 6 months, it's down 32%. Past 3 months, it's down 42%. Past week, it's down 17%. So Adam Aaron pumped it, sucked a bunch of people into getting it, and ever since then it's been dying. And to keep this scam going, the CEO is now like trying to explain that they need to reverse split so they can stay on the NASDAQ. And I said she should be investigating, which, hey, I really think she should, because she's a piece of shit and Adam Aaron's a piece of shit.
Hello, everyone. It's Diane Garrett, President and CEO of Highcroft Mining.
Hello, everyone.
I wanted to
Hello, everyone. I am Diane Scammer, President and CEO of Highcroft Mining. Hi, hi, my name is Diane.
Reach out to you personally today and address.
What a piece of shit. I didn't notice that she has rocket like buttons on her collar here or whatever these are. What a fucking dingus.
The news we put out on our reverse stock split. I know this is not the news that you wanted to hear, nor was it the decision that this management and board wanted to make. However, our NASDAQ listing is extremely important to us, and it's critically important to the growth that we have planned at Highcroft. We looked at many different options and alternatives for maintaining our listing requirements without having to implement a reverse stock split. But unfortunately, the markets have not been kind.
But unfortunately, we've been running a scam and the market knows that. So we got fucked, but we still want your money. So we're going to screw you over more to continue to extract money from you because you're so stupid to have gotten involved in the scam to begin with. I'm just translating for her.
And so we felt that implementing the reverse stock split, getting it behind us so that we could focus on true value creation at Highcroft and for our shareholders was the better.
As in what? They haven't been focusing on value creation before this? They're like, okay, now we need to do it. Like, because like we're kind of forced to.
Option. We were seeing an overhang and too much uncertainty surrounding the reverse stock split and the listing of NASDAQ. And so we wanted to remove that so we could focus the market's attention on the real value of the company, which is the Highcroft mine. We have $107 million in the bank, and we can navigate tough markets for quite some time. We have an experienced management team that is well known in the industry for creating exceptional value for our shareholders. And sometimes it takes a little longer than all of us would like to realize that value. But we're on a very strong path for that value creation at Highcroft, and we will not give up until we see that delivered to you, our shareholders. We've got one of the world's largest precious metals deposits in North America and certainly in the world. And we're in the best mining jurisdiction possible. We're delivering exciting news through the drill bit and advancing real value on our engineering studies and pre-feasibility studies that are just simply not getting reflected in our share price because of the overhang of the listing and also because of some current market conditions. But gold is nearing an all-time high. The equities we expect will soon catch up to that performance in precious metals. And we know that the fundamentals for gold and silver remain very bullish and very strong. Before I close, I want to say thank you so much for your support. We wouldn't be here without you. If you ever have any questions, we ask that you reach out to us. Many of you have commented that we're a very transparent management team. Of course we are, because this is your company and we work for you. And we want to answer any and all questions you have. We will work very hard to deliver value for you, and we will keep you informed every step of the way. Why are you a piece
of shit?
We're sorry about the news we had to put out today, but I do believe it's in the best interest of the company and our share valuation. So let's get it behind us. Let's move on together, and let's do some amazing things with this company.
Amazing things. Let's just do together. Let's just put 2 rockets on our collar and we'll do amazing things. Amazing. Fucking piece of shit. Is anyone supporting this? Like, is anyone stoked? Like, this is a company it's a zombie. It's dying. Seriously? Diane, I will continue to hodl. Like, they're just tricking dipshits. How fucking stupid can people be? Who is this dipshit? It is simple for me. Buy, hodl, watch movies, buy concessions, and merchant site, get A-listed, and buy, hodl, support HYMC. I can't forget, I'm an XRP holder. Dude, they're burning money. These people are so fucking dumb. Go donate it. Give it to an animal shelter. They're just burning money. You're a liar and a thief. Okay, I trust your rocket. I hope that's being facetious. This is all because of Adam Aaron. No one would have known about Highcroft whatsoever. It probably would have already been like completely dead. But Adam Aaron dumped this on the AMC community, and a lot of people called him out, but other people didn't. Like, I mean, she's basically getting ratioed. She should be investigated. Dude, Ryan Cohen is getting investigated because he tweeted an emoji of a moon smiley face. This lady's not wearing 1, but 2 rocket emojis as her company is crumbling. She should 100% be investigated. She should be warming up a prison cell right now. This is so fucked up. And it's Adam Aaron's fault. Like, he not only lost people money on AMC, but he lost people's money on HYMC. He also lost AMC's money. So this is what Adam Aaron has done. He's lost money for people on AMC. He's lost money for people on HYMC. And then he's lost AMC's money on HYMC. Yeah, that's just crazy. He's lost millions of dollars of AMC's money on HYMC. Wait, what is this? Is this about Doge? The worst financial decision I've ever seen.
Dogecoin Millionaire. We did a 1-hour podcast, and the second half of that podcast was just trying to convince him to sell. This is someone who's making 50 grand a year, and he sold everything he had, maxed out his credit cards, and put 150 or 200 grand in Dogecoin.
I think it was
and
180K.
At the peak, it was worth $3 million.
Yep.
And we broke it down. I'm like, dude, you will never have to work a day in your life after tax. Invest it in here. You can pull 3% of it out every single year. That's your salary. You've made your salary for life. If you just sell right now, why take the risk?
Mm-hmm.
And so, he didn't sell.
What's the worst financial decision you see 20, 30-year-olds make?
Not setting up a Roth IRA. You could be a millionaire from this. And it's incredibly easy. It's a retirement account. And by the time you're 65...
We don't need to pitch Roth IRAs. We all know about them. They're great. You should have one. That's sad. That's sad. That's sad. That's sad. What do we have going on? What else do we... Am I missing anything? Are we missing any major news? What is this? European Central Bank holds interest rates steady for 10 consecutive hikes. Hell yeah, brother. Options market, flat. NASDAQ starting to dip. Was pumping. Price did not follow. Now it's starting to dip. That is no bueno. What was actually happening? So just calls got bought, but puts were flat, and now people are starting to take a little bit of profit on their calls, closing out a couple of their puts, but price not following suit. So divergence there. Let's see who wins that out. This giant white arrow is to remind you of when Adam pitched HYMC to everyone. That, like, how is he not being investigated? Someone, like, I know a lot of times I'm just messing around, but someone needs to articulate to me, by this deal alone, how is Adam Aaron not being investigated by the SEC or the DOJ? Like, I just don't get it. Maybe I need to learn more about law. Maybe I need to become a lawyer, join the SEC, and then bring a suit against Adam Aaron. Maybe it's on me to, how is the SEC not probing his ass right now? I just don't get it. I don't get it. Yields starting to drop again, but the dollar's still strong. So kind of the opposite of what we saw before. All right, let's get rid of that. Let's see if we're missing anything. U.S. GDP grew at 4.9% annual pace in the third quarter, better than expected. Market sold down till 10, then drifted to 414.50 again, kind of double bottom there, maybe popping a little bit, but it would need to pop a lot of bit for people to get excited. But we've seen crazier things. We've definitely seen crazier things. ES, the 10-minute, maybe watch for this retest right here. If it does retest, this could be a fake out the way we kind of saw on like the dollar. And what I'm talking about is right here where it broke down, seemed very negative, and then broke back up. We could be watching that. So watching the 10-minute, it broke down, seeing if it can recapture this, the old fake out. The 30 minutes looking pretty bad. The 30-minute rallied all the way up, did not have enough steam to keep going, got smacked below its EMA cloud. Obviously, the daily is negative. So really kind of watching, it's the same at this point. The 3-minute, the 5-minute, the 10-minute all have this important level of like, can it push above and hold above? So obviously paying attention to that. Here's the daily situation. I'm actually surprised we didn't go all the way down to 414 on this vomit, but hey, there's still time left in the day. Kids are attending virtual protests on gaming platform Roblox amid the Israel-Hamas war, and so far, one virtual protest area has been visited more than 275,000 times. I guess that's the thing kids do these days, is attend virtual protests. Strange. Ken Griffin says scrutiny of Ken Griffin of Citadel says scrutiny of SEC basis trade utterly beyond me. He says the strategy saves U.S. taxpayers billions every year. Citadel founder comments at Robinhood Investors Conference. I'm sure he would. And yeah, maybe it does save the taxpayers billions of dollars. I'm sure if you look at it through like kind of contorted data points, but I would bet more confidently on the fact that it probably makes Ken Griffin billions of dollars. Citadel founder Ken Griffin rebuffed regulators' critique of the so-called basis trade, saying their efforts are, quote-unquote, utterly beyond me. Hedge funds and others who employ the strategy are helping to provide liquidity and fund the treasury market efficiently, reducing costs for taxpayers, Griffin said Wednesday at the Robinhood Investors Conference in New York. This is totally lost on Gary Gensler and totally lost on the Fed. Gensler, the SEC chair, and the central bank seem to, quote-unquote, seem to be more consumed with this theory of systematic risk from this trade than from the fact that we're saving tens of basis points in cost for the American taxpayers, which is billions of dollars a year by allowing this trade to exist. Wait, so is he coming at the SEC for being focused on systematic risk? He's like, they're just being negative Nancy's. Yeah, if things go completely awry, it might blow up, but why would you focus on that? In the meantime, we're making money. What's the big problem? U.S. regulators are zeroing in on dangers posed by highly leveraged hedge fund wagers. Wow. You're telling me that the SEC is worried about highly leveraged wagers, highly leveraged bets that could blow up the system, and hedge funds have an issue with it? Color me surprised. Particularly the basis trade, which uses leverage to profit from the price gap between Treasury futures and the underlying cash market, and considering options to rein in the risks to the broader financial system. The funding that prime brokerages provide to some hedge funds on a very generous basis is the biggest source of risk in the financial system. Griffin, 55, also said Citadel's hedge fund has a large basis portfolio. Oh, well, no wonder he doesn't want this to be scrutinized by the SEC because he's making the money off of it. Allegedly lost money in March of 2020. So he's saying he lost money one time. He added that the losses relative to the firm's overall equity capital base weren't meaningful. So he's citing a singular loss? Is that what's going on? He's like, no, I'm human like you too. I lost 1 month years ago. Like, I'm totally like you. Jones, who runs the hedge fund Tudor Investment Corp, said his firm's basis trade portfolio was in extreme duress in March 2020 and that the Fed's entrance into the market bailed that particular book out. While it didn't affect the firm's overall profit and loss, it was a huge stress. So Tudor Investment Corp is saying that this could be systematic stress. And like theoretically, we know it is, but I guess Ken Griffin doesn't really care. Griffin also addressed his market-making business, Citadel Securities, saying that the largest risk it faces is when pricing correlations between assets go off the rails, something like a black swan event. Gensler has pointed to Citadel Securities' dominance in equity markets as emblematic of a competitive problem in the industry. His staff presented proposals that would rework U.S. structure to move more trading into the open on public exchanges. So Citadel Securities and other industry participants have warned that those proposals could harm investors and dampen market liquidity. Well, of course they're going to argue that because they make billions of dollars off of it. How many billions, you ask? Well, Citadel Securities profited $7 billion last year. So yeah, they're going to argue for it. Of course they're going to argue for it. It's their business. I'm definitely not the biggest fan of Gary Gensler, but in this particular case, bringing more trades to the open market seems like a smart thing. In fact, the only people who argue it shouldn't be that way are people who are running market-making operations, because that's how they make their money. So they don't want to lose their money, obviously. Like, that's not a crazy thing. Market pop, got smacked. Options popped, getting smacked. Let's see what's actually going on. The calls, calls right here. Look at calls were being purchased from 10:02 until 10:31. They're taking their profits now, and people are loading a little bit more back into puts. Look at all call profits are being taken. Well, I shouldn't say all. That's not appropriate. A lot of money in call profits on the 0DT and the expiration from 10 to 10:30. You can literally in real time see it being taken right now. Hey, if you haven't already and you want to do degenerate trading with me, if you're watching this, sign up for Apex. I'm only bringing it up to you at this moment because it's 90% off. So it's like really, really cheap. It's less than $17 for an account if you want to try it out. So pinned to the top of chat in the description of the video. They are the partner of today's stream. Sign up, sign up, sign up. It's 17 buckaroos, simulated trading. And if you do well, you get paid. But I should also let you know, it's actually kind of tough to do well, but it's fun. You use red, white, and blue average previously. What was the days you used when you stacked? Was it considered bullish? I want to say the 10, the 20, and the 50, Dan. Can I call you Lieutenant Dan? 90% off. That means for $16 a piece, you can go full degen. Yeah, basically it's $16 for you to go degen, and you don't have to risk your own money. Is there a chance you could post your 0DT trade to locals when you make it? Yesterday when you posted it, it was credited. Oh, sorry, Aaron, my apologies. I will do that right now. Aaron, for you, literally, I would murder someone. So if you just want me to post this trade, that's actually even easier. In fact, it requires no murdering. I'll do it right now. And it should be trading at roughly the same value. The goal is for this to be more so in the Discord when that gets rocking. Beta version is happening now. I'm going to continue to invite more of you who have reached out. And then ideally by next week, we are in full swing of it. So hold on one second. What is today? The 26th. It is a call credit spread. 418 by 419. All right. Aaron, first one is posted. And let me get the second one. We are on a 16 trade heater. Let's see if after today it can actually get up to 18. Obviously, 16 plus 2 would put us in that category, and I'd be pretty stoked. All right. That is 51 by spread by 52 in the Qs. 41, 28, 13, 87, below 51. All right, that one, both are now posted there. Just so you know, my apologies for that. I should have been quicker. I was just so excited to get into the other forms of content. My apologies. You want to see the like really degenerate thing that I did? Like super degenerate. So it's this top one. Focus on this top one. I did a 420 by 421 SPY credit spread. So I need it below 420, but I did it in size. I did it by 75. So if I hit it, I'll get 7 by 75, as in whatever 7 times 75 is. So if I hit it, I'll make $525. But if it misses 93 times 75, I'll lose $7K. So there's that. And actually, let's look at the odds of this working out for me. So like, it's a nice payday if it hits, and like the odds are my favorite, but if it goes awry, I'm risking 7K. So basically I'm risking 7K to get $500, but the odds of it working out for me are, at this moment in time, 93%. So I have a 93% chance. So would you guys take that bet? If I gave you a 93% chance to make $500, but there's a 7% chance of you losing 7K, would you take it? Would you take it? Would you take it? Would you take it? It's not a 50-50 thing. It's high odds, 93% chance. It's just the question of, would you risk it the other way? No, dude. Sorry. I feel like you guys maybe missed the fact that I have a DGen shirt on. Sorry, I didn't know the name of this show was Reasonable Conservative Trades by Matt. I forgot that was the name of the show. Reasonable Ways to Engage in the Market by Mr. Matt Kohrs. That's not the name of the show. That's the show that starts next month. You guys, yeah, you're gonna have to wait for November for that one. This is literally the dumb money degenerate Goonie show. You guys are saying you're Goonies and you wouldn't take that trade? I live degenerately through you. Hey, I'll do that. Today's trades updates. I just showed you them. Is it up? Sorry, was it not showing? This is the DGen trade. That's up 14%. I'm up $75. Max return of 525. Max loss of 7K. This one is up 20%, 35 buckaroos. And then this one's up 46%, 60 buckaroos. These bottom two are like the legit trades, like of the system that I want to do time and time again. This top trade is like full on degenerate. It's just how I live. It's just how it happens. But call credit spreads across the board, 3 different call credit spreads, one degenerate one, and then one for the SPY, one for the Qs following the actual system. A crypto rug pull. I mean, not really. It's down 1%. Unless it's something else. Are you saying like Doge? Like, is something else getting rug pulled? I saw you guys talking about Doge. Doge is looking strong by whatever freaking reason. How's Pepe? Is Pepe the only real crypto? Pepe. I'm almost back to my break even on Pepe. I should probably get out of Pepe when I get to my break even. Maybe a little bit of profit. I got it, and then I was sitting in profit for a good minute, and then it got crazy, and then I was back in profit, and then it got absolutely horrible. But now that crypto's coming back to life, maybe. We were getting there, close. I'm somewhere in the 12, so I just put my break-even line at 13, but I was actually probably back to break-even at some point, maybe in the overnight session. How's the GDP this morning? It was higher than expected, so the economy is still hot. It is one hot tamale. Wait, what was my DGen bet on? Was it 420 or 421? Fuck, it was 420. doesn't necessarily make you feel the best when you see. I'm just betting on the. It's like sports gambling. It's just betting on the over/under. I'm betting on the under today. I have 5 hours and 15 minutes. Well, you know what I'll do is I'll just set some alerts, and as long as I don't hear these alerts go off, I'm good. The market could even go sideways for all I care. But as long as we're just like, chilling below these levels, we're good to go. Just don't want to hear the alerts go off. What I should have done was just have the balls to bet my entire account. Matt, can you have a stop loss on spreads? Yeah, you could. That's what I'm kind of attempting to data mine at this point in time, is like what a reasonable stop loss level would be, or what's not reasonable, what's the mathematically best. Should you just let it go completely blown out? Should it just be like double your premium that you collected, triple your premium, 2.5x? So like I'm trying to find the statistical best one, and it might just be going for it. Like the answer might just be like no, like let it ride all the way out, or it might be management if it starts to turn against you. I don't know the answer, but you don't deserve to wear that DGen shirt. Tom, are you saying I should have bet the whole account? Matt, mute your computer sound. Matt, you will never hear the alert going off. Oh, Jack, that's a smart way to look at it. If I mute it, I'll never hear it. Dude, you guys are scary smart in here. Scary smart in here. All right, here's a look at the daily. Basically, I very much need the market below 420, but I would very much prefer it below 418. And what else do I want it below? 351 on the Qs. And below right here, 350. That's what my bets on the day were. The Qs below 351 and the SPY below 418, with a degenerate bet of it below 420 by the time the market closes today. I don't have to hold it to close. Like if I were worried about it right now, I could get out for a slight profit because obviously more time has passed, so the position is less valuable. But don't forget, as theta increases, because we're getting closer to expiration, so does gamma. So it's not hard to get completely railed by gamma. So time will tell. Time will tell. I'll start sweating if we get above 418, or if the Qs get above 350. That's the point where I'd probably be like, oh shit. That could be definitely problematic. Did you guys see? I saw some weird things I want to go over as we're letting this play out. Did I hit like on it? Oh, this was wild. I wanted to share this at the start of the video, just because I didn't know this was like a thing that happens. But apparently elk travel in what I would assume is called a herd, and then they just like chill together in people's lawns. Like they're just big partiers. Found the elk in, look at them, giant herd of elk. Just chilling, just doing elk things. Just calm, cool, collected. So that's a thing. A murder of crows. I don't think you call a group of elk a murder of crows. What else is on this account? Tiny chameleon. I want a tiny chameleon. Tiny chameleons like to shower. A black bear with gold and white fur, also known as kermode or spirit bear. Came across a fox taking a rest in sand. Foxes are cool. Birds, lame. Cheetah. Cheetah mom communicating with her 3 cubs. What is that? Cheetah Morse code? Well, it's probably... Why do they sound more like a bird than they do a cat? Also, why is he just shoving a camera in her face? Hey! Little baby cheetah! They sound like Chewbacca. There's 3 of them. All speak Chewbacca. Chewbacca-ese. Dude, why do they have interesting back fur like that? Do they not get all their color till they're older? Is it like a protection thing? Dude, that is one regal looking cat. Well, the more you know. The more you know. What is that thing? Are these animals legal? A monkey and a capybara? A moosin? A crocodile eating some sort of deer? An Arctic fox? Dude, we have foxes up in the Arctic? No way. Is this Santa Claus?
Вот ты наглый, а? Вот ты наглый, что ты будешь делать?
Santa Claus sounds pissed off.
Ну нельзя быть таким наглым.
Just give him a little fishy.
Парень, не наглей так сильно. Ну куда ты?
I don't know. Does anyone speak Santa?
Блин. Ну ты наглый, а? Как так можно? Не ешь, не ешь, не ешь. Фу! Это моё, моего.
Dude, he's just trying to get a little
Моя
snack.
рыба, говорю. Моя. Лунка моя, рыба моя.
Angry. Give him a little snack.
Ну ты кадр. Ладно, бери, бери. Молодец. Считай, что выкопал.
Got a little fish snack. That's pretty funny.
Выкапыванием.
All right, we got completely distracted. What were the things that I was looking at? I thought I saved things. Oh, something with Ethan Klein of H3, the host of H3, is having a rude awakening. The fact that the far left woke audience he courted over the past year alongside his co-host Hassan Piker utterly despises him and stands for everything he hates. Well, he's Jewish, shows it because of Hassan's group is like particularly anti-Semitic.
Hassan's Discord, and what I saw in that Discord was universal.
Dude, he looks rough. Like, you guys see me and you're like, dude, Matt's looking rough. He's looking rough, man.
So, near universal praise for Hamas, near universal saying people deserved it, people near universally calling me a Zionist pig, fucking mass murdering genocidal freak. And if you want to know the truth, that shit fucked me up seeing that Discord, because it made me realize that a lot of these people are watching this show, and it frankly disturbed me. Hassan's Discord, and what I saw in that Discord was universal, near universal praise for Hamas, near universal saying people deserved it, people near universally calling me a Zionist pig, fucking mass murdering genocidal freak. And if you want to know the truth, that shit fucked me up seeing that Discord, because it made me realize that a lot of these people are watching this show, and it frankly disturbed me. Hassan's Discord,
Yeah,
and what I saw...
Pretty crazy. For some reason, I saved this morning. I look at what's happening. All right, so this is Nikki Haley, a GOP presidential hopeful.
Leadership in Qatar, right? I mean, are we really doing this?
We should.
Okay, but I'm just saying, like, that's when people say they want to go after Hamas, then the true domino effect is real. So you have to go into Qatar, a country that says that they're our friend, and you'd have to do things that would be very, very complicated.
But
I'm not saying you don't do them. I'm just saying all of a sudden it gets...
No, that's exactly what we did with ISIS. Do you think we didn't go take out the heads of ISIS? We did that wherever they were. We don't go to one region. We go and take out the people who were doing this. It's the reason we took out Soleimani. You go and take out anyone who wants to destroy America or destroy our friends. And we have to start getting this conversation right. You know, I look at what's happening on college campuses, and thank goodness for the donors pulling their money or people leaving boards. But what are all of them saying on college campuses? First, they're there should be freedom of speech, but you don't get freedom of hate. And what we're seeing now is they're talking about occupation. Is there occupation in Gaza? There's absolutely occupation in Gaza by Hamas.
It's funny because
there's not an Israeli or a Jewish person in Gaza.
Governor, some of the same people who are saying you don't get to have freedom of hate, you're allowed to have freedom of speech. But now they're saying you need to have freedom of hate. Some of the same people that didn't, that would apply that rule in one setting are now saying, do you think we should be doxing students and their lives can be affected in the future?
Oh, that's the whole Harvard University
I tell
of
my
Pennsylvania
children
thing.
now, everything you put on social media and everything you say is going to dictate who hires you and whether you get a job.
Bill Ackman won't hire someone that he sees at a rally at Harvard.
I wouldn't hire someone that's celebrating Hamas. I wouldn't hire someone who is going to go out there and spew hatred because I don't know what they're going to do in my company. And so what I'll tell you is I think we should revoke all the tax-exempt status of universities that are allowing this to happen in the first place.
I think
Their
your
job is
competitor
to protect students.
your competitor just did that in Florida.
You should. Any university that doesn't protect students, any university that allows hate to spew, you should go and pull their tax-exempt status. Colleges don't get the right to do this.
Colleges don't get the right to do this, pull their tax-exempt status. We did the elk thing. All right, cool. Market popping, unfortunately, for at least me. If you have calls, congrats to you. I'm still feeling fine, though. I mean, this revert, it's a question of how much will it revert. So obviously the 418 is feeling a little bit of pain, but the 420, we're still a decent away from it. So I'm not feeling it yet. Who knows how things are going to go. Let's switch this back. Options going bullish. But the question is, are they now leveling out? So big push from 1039 until now. But you see how it's just a nice flow to the upside and then all of a sudden it gets hit. So it might be basing, but generally you see the price movement stop when the options. This obviously isn't like 100% accurate statement. It's not like it happens every single time. But in a general case, you see the rip. You wait for this to actually pan out. And then all of a sudden price also pans out. Maybe not exactly that first exact second, but that's what I'll be looking for. If the options keep ripping, I might get screwed, but just paying attention to that. All right, so speaking about universities and all that, UPenn fights back against billionaire ultimatum as divisions rise. So we know that at schools such as Harvard, University of Pennsylvania, we have a lot of people who are like straight up supporting Hamas. And they're like, nope, what they're doing, it's reasonable, it's allowable. And a lot of people are like, you know what, you could like not say you fully support Israel, but that doesn't mean you go and support Hamas. Anyway, there are schools, once again, Harvard, University of Pennsylvania, that have been under a lot of social pressure from both sides on this. Scott Bach, whatever his name is, has spent decades advising corporate titans on how to fend off hostile takeovers. Now he's in a fight of his own against a growing list of billionaires who are angry over his work at the University of Pennsylvania. The chairman of Greenhill & Co. is being forced to defend Penn President Liz Magill, whatever her name is, Liz. We have Liz and Scott, and his own position as chair of the board of trustees, while a group of alumni and students demand the exit of both leaders amid a growing storm of anti-Semitism on campus and Scott's treatment of some of the school's Jewish trustees. In recent days, Scott and Liz have worked the phones to rally support for members of the board, attempting to quell opposition from donors led by Apollo Global Management Chief CEO Mark Rowan. We listened to that video. He basically went hard after them. Our existing leadership team, with the guidance of our large and diverse trustee group, is best suited to take the university forward. Change, particularly if perceived as being forced by withholding of contributions, would serve to only increase division within the board university community. It is time for the trustees to begin moving UPenn in a new direction. Although we haven't met, you may know me by Silverman Hall, the Silverman Scholars, and the Silverman Professor. I respectfully request that both of you do the right thing and resign from your positions. Ivy League school now, University of Pennsylvania, the Ivy League school now sits at the center of a seething national debate over academic freedom, free speech, and to many on the political right, left-wing bias in U.S. higher education. I mean, even if you're left-leaning, I think you would agree that U.S. higher education has a left-leaning bias. like whether you're left, right, in the middle, neutral, like just I think any quantitative, qualitative assessment would tell you that U.S. higher education is clearly left wing. Scott and Liz had supported the decision to hold the 3-day Palestine Writers Literature Festival at Penn's Wolf Humanities Center in September. So they're basically not condemning Hamas. Harvard as well, and it's just like, okay, like take a public stance. And obviously just tensions really high, people getting pissed off on both sides. And hey, I just am happy I don't have that job, because that sounds like a lot of stress. So just wanted to cover that, kind of backing up what we just saw with Nikki Haley on Squawk Box this morning. All right, where are we at? Market, let's check this out. Options flattening out right here. As prices flattening out, we see options flattening out as well. I think you guys had sent some things in. What is this? Unciphered team. Dude, how many pop-ups? Unciphered team develops technique to crack decade-old iron key password to recover $235 million in lost Bitcoin. Seattle-based company Unciphered has developed a unique method to crack the password of a decade-old iron key model, potentially offering a chance to recover a lost fortune of 7,000 BTC worth nearly $235 million. According to a report from Wired, Unciphered's hackers have spent around 8 months developing this capability. They believe a similar iron key susceptible to their cracking method contains the keys to the massive Bitcoin fortune, and it held in a vault in a Swiss bank. The iron key in question belongs to Stefan Thomas, an SF-based Swiss crypto entrepreneur who has lost the password to unlock it. Thomas is left with only 2 password attempts before iron key permanently erases the keys stored on it, making the BTC inaccessible forever. Unciphered's team is confident they can unlock Thomas's iron key using their secret cracking technique. However, Thomas has declined their offer to help. He has already made a deal with 2 other cracking teams, offering them a share of the proceeds if they can unlock the drive. Despite the refusal, Unciphered remains hopeful but ready to move on other locked wallets if Thomas continues to decline their assistance. The decision to unlock this particular iron key and potentially recover the BTC fortune ultimately lies with its owner. I wonder what kind of split you get. If you have $235 million that's inaccessible and then someone gives you the key to it, do they get 10%, 25%, 50%, more? Like, it's almost like a weird philosophical problem. If you have a lot of money that's inaccessible and then someone else actually helps you access it, like, what's a fair split? Does it just go 50-50 of like, we have the key, but you have the treasure chest, like, type of a thing? Interesting. I wonder, like, what do you guys think the fair split would be? 50-50? Is that like, if you were either the owner of the Bitcoin or the person who had the key, if you have the treasure chest or the key to the treasure chest, what do you think the split would be? What do you think the split would be? What else do we have? You guys actually sent in a decent amount. Let's just check these out. All right, let's go through a grip of these. Nah, that was a straight violation.
Oh, you're bending down. Are you sure you aren't going to break a hip?
No, my hips are actually in better shape than your hips.
You want to tell me why that is?
I don't know. Maybe it's because I exercise and you don't.
Dude, harsh. Calling it how she sees it. Maybe because I exercise and you don't. Natural birth control.
Hey, Dad, let me test out your new driver.
Oh. Of course he's just filming it and not telling him to stop.
Oh, yeah, fucking yeah, buddy. Fuck yeah. Dad's new driver. Get it. Fuck yeah, smash it. Kids going.
Oh, Dad's gonna be pissed.
Stop standing and watching.
Does he just hide it then? Oh, wow. Yeah, it is natural birth control. All right. That's too many words to read. Let's just watch it.
I keep hearing that there's a draft coming. I want to know how many men in their 30s or 40s, when that door gets knocked on, are going to go fight for greedy fucking politicians that have been stealing our money and ruining our way of life for decades and die in a country halfway across the world for what?
I think legally,
how many out there,
if there is
are going to go
conscription,
fight?
you have to do it.
Because I'm not. Fuck them. Fuck them greedy politicians.
Just gonna go
fuck
to
their
Canada?
war,
Like, you have to
and
leave
Fuck
then.
everything that they're about. I'll go sit in a jail cell for the rest of my
Or
life
that.
before I fight for these greedy fucking pigs.
I agree with the sentiment.
I keep hearing
on what
that
he's
there's
saying.
a draft coming.
I'm by no means disagreeing with like his message, but it is illegal. I mean, ask Elvis about it. Is this the future? McDonald's trials AI-based drive-through assistant.
Please.
Okay.
I applied your.
Thank you.
I got your code.
Thanks.
What can I get for you?
Can I
What
get...
would you like to order?
Yes, can I get a McChicken?
Your total is $278 at pay rate.
I want more than that.
Thank you.
More. No. Hey. Hey. Computer. Hello. Are you shitting me with this?
Sorry?
I wanted more stuff. Just, you didn't even ask. Rude.
Calling the computer.
I didn't catch that. Can you say?
I would like to... Thank you so much. I'm sorry. What's that? Can I get a... Am I okay to go with my order? Continue. Hello?
Sorry, can you repeat that?
Yeah, can I go ahead and continue ordering?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. I'm sorry. Yeah, can I get a...
Wow. Looks like we have a little bit more work to do before those are actually feasible. There's nothing better than immediate reactions. I'm assuming this is after the Phillies' loss to the Diamondbacks.
Let's see what people got to say.
We had a home field for 2 games. 2 games. And you let them come here and beat us?
Phillies need to sell Trey Turner. That guy's a fucking idiot. We went farther without that guy. Fuck the Phillies, honestly.
Trade the whole fucking team. This team fucking blew today. I want to say that I'm fucking depressed. I had to ask 9 people for this fucking cigarette.
Dude, this is so Delco. Like, Philly fans are a different breed, and I think he's only going out of his way to interview Delco people. Like, this is hilarious.
Philly fans, we always stink.
Disappointment.
Oh, man, that was just straight garbage.
This sucks.
I hope they never fucking play a baseball game again.
Fire Topper. Topper! What's up, man?
Feeling like I want to go lay in traffic.
All them bitch-ass motherfuckers I couldn't get a hit when we motherfucking needed it.
I love how we spent $700 million for guys to go 0 for 12 combined. Let's go Jets.
It's a good point.
I'm feeling good because, you know, we still got the birds.
Go Birds!
Go birds!
Hit the fucking ball, man. Come on, really? Hit the fucking ball.
Overpaid
Fuck that.
Hey, wait, where'd you get this banana?
From a homeless guy.
Hey, how do we feel about Dancing on My Own as a song moving forward?
You gotta cut it.
Time to retire it. Find something new.
Still fires up the crowd.
Well, I'm pretty sure it didn't work this year, so it's gotta go.
Fucking on, I'm crying instead of dancing!
I get the shitty ass fucking song. They need to ditch that shit.
I don't want to hear that song ever again.
How about you shut up?
How about you shut up? The guy, they're so fish drunk. How about you shut up? How about you take your camera, Mr. Cameraman, and shut up? And now we're throwing a little curveball at the audience. Is capitalism ruining everything, or is it something else? Yes, everything has been affected by the ever-expanding global capitalist system. Greedy capitalists are ruining everything. I can already tell you before we watch this that I would 100% agree.
The greed of capitalism is ruining everything. Like, everything we buy, shitty. Every experience we pay for, awful. All because like 10 guys at the top of every company want to buy their 6th vacation home. Can't buy decent clothes. They're all made of literal plastic. Can't go to a concert. We have to make sure the CEO of Ticketmaster's great-great-great-grandchild never has to work a day in his life. If you can afford to go on vacation, you have to bookend it with the 2 most miserable days of your entire life, sitting like this on an airplane for 3, 4, 10 hours after you paid $1,000. Can't buy a single item of food that isn't going to give you cancer one day. Can't afford to put your kid in daycare. Can't afford to stay home. Cannot do a Google search without trusting that what it gives you is not just something someone paid to put in front of you. I know capitalism is not new, but it feels new. The speed at which everything we do, every interaction we have, every experience we have, everything we buy is being made so incredibly worse just for everyone because of greedy people at the top.
You know, is capitalism perfect? Absolutely not. I would never, never, never argue that capitalism is without its faults. Namely, greed is going to be a big issue that capitalism can produce, pollution, things of that nature. So it's really untethered capitalism can become problematic. But I would argue, what's a better system? Like, so is it perfect? No. But have we come up with a better system? And obviously another competitive economic system is socialism. So let's just do a little search on socialism. How many people has socialism killed? In 2010, professor of economics Stephen Rosefield wrote in Red Holocaust that the internal contradictions of communism regimes caused the killing of approximately 60 million people and perhaps tens of millions of more. Get this out of here. How many people have been killed on socialism versus capitalism? Socialists want to pretend they never kill anyone. All the tyrants weren't real socialists. Then they want to pretend that everyone who dies in a capitalist country from any cause is a mark against capitalism. But the truth is that the good estimates exist of minimum number of people killed by purges in socialist communist nations. The absolute lowest number cited is around 50 million, but most agree that it's more likely like 100 million. The highest I've ever seen is 165, and that's all since 1917. What else do we have? What else do we have? This one says, no, socialism is not the cause of 100 million. What are they saying? So they're saying that the deaths under Lenin, Stalin, Zhao, Cambodia, they're like, no, that's not real socialism. Socialism is a hate crime. Socialism is responsible for the deaths of 100 million victims. How many people has socialism killed? Let's look it up. 2016 video. Socialism kills.
Socialism is not cool. Socialism kills. I've looked at a lot of social media arguing with my contention that the body count from socialism is unprecedented in world history. They're wrong, and I'm right. Let me name a few names. Vladimir Lenin and Joseph Stalin, 67 million people dead.
I mean, I've seen stuff like this. And like then the argument of someone who supports socialism is like, well, they weren't actually socialists. So basically everything that in economic, cultural, societal, like I guess development that is attempting to pull off socialism, apparently no one can, but then the ones who attempt to pull it off end up just murking a bunch of people. Like, so you have one or two things. Either socialism is killing people, or the aspects of socialism, it's not possible to be pulled off. You can't have both. You can't be like, well, hang on, socialism would be perfect and no one's just ever pulled it off. Well, that should probably tell us something either way. Either socialism is killing tens of millions of people, potentially over 100 million people, or because of, I guess, like society or individuals in that type of power, socialism, it just like in the way that's theoretically perfect, that doesn't kill anyone, no one can pull it off. So in either case, it's just shit. Matt Kohrs, well, Kohrs, it was literally just a second link. I'm not saying, I mean, that's not a verified source. Videos aren't verified. Like, we would need like actual papers. I'm not saying that's like a qualified source by any means. Things were getting spicy there for a second, but they're now working out on my play. 11/11, I should make a wish. Technically, I'm in the green still on all of them, but things got a little dicey there for a second. So hopefully there's not a giant bounce back, or we'll get absolutely murked. Let's just move my alerts up for a little bit higher. Folks, Folks. First of all, shout out to today's stream sponsor, Apex. If you want to degen a prop account, right now it's 90% off. So it's in between full-on paper trading and full-on trading your own account. Little bit of money at risk, typically with a 90% discount. Now it only costs $17. So try it out. If you have questions, I'll do my best. I'm by no means an expert prop trader, but I do find the degen aspects of it to be pretty fun. And if you do really well in their simulations, you actually get paid. So anyway, pinned to the top of chat in the description of the video. They're later on today. We still have earnings and stuff tomorrow, Friday, early TGIF, early TGIF. But I do want to let you know that we're streaming early tomorrow because of the PCE report. So I'll do an update video today after the market closes. If you don't watch it, you're getting a demerit. So I see you guys all in here. If you don't watch it, if I don't see you commenting on the video tonight, we're going to have a big problem. I'm memorizing all the names I see here on Rumble, on YouTube. They're all going in the old memory bank right now. So if I don't see you guys commenting on the video tonight, we have a big problem. Demerits galore. Tomorrow won't be called Friday. It'll be called Bloody Demerit Day. So tomorrow, PCE report. We're streaming early. Update video coming out tonight. Earnings tonight. Intel, Amazon are the big ones that probably a lot of you want to pay attention to. So earnings tonight, earnings tomorrow morning, inflation report tomorrow morning. Next week, we have a big Fed decision. Market on tilt, try to recover, getting smacked. I guess before we go, I'll be a nice guy and let you know what's going on in the options market. Options market also dipping. So price and options dipping right now. And that's pretty much it. That's what I have for you. I appreciate all the good vibes. I appreciate you being an awesome goonie, messing around with me today. I hope you have a good day. I hope if you haven't had a good day, I hope it gets better. If you are having a good day, I hope it gets even better than good. I hope it goes from good to great. Update video tonight, stream early tomorrow. You better all comment on the update video. Check out Apex. And other than that, I love you all. Much love. Peace out.